Alright. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the grand finals of the EPT DreamHack Masters season finals, the summer season finals. And it is going to be the Italian Stallion still looking in fine form. He did end up losing that TSL grand finals narrowly to Trap, but damn, is he still good. He's still the reigning world champion. You know, maybe he's slumping. He only got second place in TSL. Shut the hell up, haters. He's still an absolute god, and we know it. It's REYNOR. No, I don't think anyone's saying that about a 3-4 loss to Trap. His opponent, though, is the player who probably gave him the most trouble, I would say, in Katowice. Really showed the flexibility to just deflect the lurker style that REYNOR loves in this matchup. I mean, this guy down here showed some of the best defensive turtle tank ghost play in that semifinals. Let's see if he does it again. It's Maru. So the interesting thing, if you guys cast your minds back to the semifinals of Katowice, the World Championship, REYNOR got way ahead almost every early game ZVT and just got creep all over the map, out of control. It was where he first really displayed his two separate control groups of creep queens, so he could be spreading and defending two sides of the map at once from the Hellion pressure and the Banshee pressure. How he was always splitting it up, so if there was Banshees, kind of say he has his third here, and Banshees are bouncing between pressuring the main and pressuring the third, he'd just have Queens and Overseer there, Queens and Overseer there. The Banshees would get completely zoned out and shut down, and Maru found himself incredibly behind in pretty much every early game of those series, but he ended up winning the first two maps in a row in that semifinals. Why? Because he just turtled up when he was behind, got a lot of defense, and Lurkers and Banelings, the unit which REYNOR relies on, he goes to a massive economy and just smashes Lurker Baneling from all sides. Neither of those do well versus planetaries, tanks, ghosts, and warlocks, and that's what Maru just did a lot of. Now, this is really cool. REYNOR has actually seen this incoming SCV scout. He's done a 16 pool opening, a pool first. Very safe first proxy barracks, which, of course, Maru loves. But it also has allowed him to build 6-lings, and he's split 4 of them off. Maru not realizing that. Maru thought he saw the firstlings leaving the base. REYNOR has really tricked him here. So Maru's greedily sent his Reaper across, and now he's got 4 Zerglings coming in. That command center is going to get delayed. Yes, these Zerglings have led that Reaper on a merry trip around there. That Zergling, though, not attacking the SCV and the natural. A bit of miss micro from REYNOR. He does get 1 Marine. Maru went immediately for a second Marine because he knew this was a possibility. So really well played here by Maru. The Marine is actually going to deal with that. Can REYNOR get 1 more SCV? It's on Reddit points. He's looking for it. Can he get it? He does. Okay, so he gets an SCV there and a Marine. And a slight delay on the command center. Could have been a bit more of a delay on the command center. Would have made this more worthwhile. Does lose 6 Zerglings, but you've also got to remember this means there's no pressure on REYNOR's side of the map. So he can go into a super late Zergling speed here. Oh, it's about 4 minutes. It's not that crazy late, but a little late. He could spread creep freely. He's got his third base down. So the Reaper hasn't really been able to slow him down on his side of the map. And I think this is a totally acceptable opening for REYNOR. Even if, I guess the dream is Maru only building 1 Marine and those Zerglings causing a bit more of a ruckus, it's good enough. Oh, that Marine should not get the Overlord. The Overlord, of course, is seeking safety on this pillar, but he's misclicked it, so it's actually not going to take shelter there. REYNOR will need to check in on that Overlord. Oh, wait, is it even going to get there? Oh, he does. He fixes it, and he stops it right in the center of that pillar, and this Marine's like, oh, get out of here. 1 hit point Overlord. Are you serious? He's going to float his barracks for it. Oh my god, Maru. He's like, how dare you tease me, you piece of shit. No one leaves me with a blue Marine. This Marine, blue Marine with blue balls would be a sad tale. So Maru floats the barracks over, kills the Overlord. Is that worth it? It loses a bit of add-on building time. I would argue getting your stim and shield started immediately really is not the most important thing as a Terran player. I mean, that being said, we don't necessarily know it's going to be bio. If it's going to be mech, I actually think you care even less about getting the add-ons. Maru! Oh, Zergling gets in, and REYNOR's like, hey, you build an extra barracks, buddy? And Maru doesn't give away the information just yet. It's going to be time for him to drop those 2 barracks in just a moment. Unless he goes for the weird double eBay style that, and we see innovation favor that, but I don't think anyone does that versus Zerg. It's just such a bad idea to delay your first double medevac Marine pressure. Not really finding any damage just yet. Banshee's going down the left of the map. REYNOR up on 38 workers, and he's going to be going for a quick lair and second gas. Now, these Banshees really are not that quick. So I would argue that REYNOR's actually built his spores a bit too early in the main and the natural. He's spore in the third base as well. And he's kind of not got the highest worker count because of that. I mean, it's past 5 minutes and REYNOR's only on 44 drones. So this is uncharacteristically low for the Italian stallion. He's on 6 queens, 7th queen's about to pop, which gives him a little bit of safety. But yeah, early Baneling Nest and early spores. I mean, REYNOR's basically focusing on a control style. He's saying, I will make sure you have no ability to get momentum in this series. And he's copying being a little lower on the economic explosion. That being said, Maru is playing correctly against this. He's not overcommitting. He's poking. He's prodding. If he could slow the creep down a little, that would be to his favor. He's now going to send these Banshees in from the left side. Spore Crawler's moving back in. He had them positioned for the Liberators, but now he's moved them back to the mineral line, realizing that's the bigger threat. That Queen is going to go down. Nice focus fight. I don't really like that Spore position. It's got to be a bit more central to be more effective there. A second Queen goes down, gets a Baneling as well. Maru doing pretty good here. These Queens over here are thinking they might actually need to get back to that mineral line just to defend the high ground. Harassment. Banshees. Ooh, great Spore trick. REYNOR with the style there. Hellions still being deflected by these Queens on the left, but hey, oh, they're going to dive. Are they, though? Oh, he's going to fight the Queens? Really? Oh, because the Banshees can join up. That's why. Okay, and those Banshees add a lot of damage. Trades a Hellion and a bit of damage on the others for another 2 Queens. This is a lot of Queens. 4 Queens so far. Hasn't killed any of the drones, and REYNOR is up on 70 workers. He's building a 4th in the midst of this, so not really getting thrown off his game at all. Behind this, one upgrades are on the way. The 2nd and 3rd barracks are both producing. The 4th and 5th are building their add-ons. Combat shields does need to be remembered, of course. Not the highest priority until those Marines are entering combat, so he's got gas going in other directions, but REYNOR snipes a Banshee. Limits this for now. And it's actually going super quick Spire. So he's going to get, well, not super quick, but considering it's a more traditional macro build, pretty damn fast into those Mutalisks. Where he's going to get 5 Mutas started, doesn't have the gas to start his double upgrade. So we're going to be looking at a full 1-1 versus 0-0 advantage for Maru. Big upgrade advantage, but REYNOR's going to have more control. So more Mutas to shut down the drops. Could punish and just shoot down the Medivacs, which is, of course, a disaster if that happens. And hey, a Zergling run by comes in. REYNOR, the master of backstabbing his opponents. Really, the Medivac healing's really good. He does kill 1 Siege Tank and 2 Marines, though. Well worth it for a couple of Zerglings. Does end up getting defended. Hellion, Marine, Banshee on the left. If REYNOR can keep that hatchery alive, though, which indeed he can, he'll be okay. Muta's going to fly across the map. Mount Marines might intercept him. You got to be careful, REYNOR. Don't want to be losing a Mutt-Mutt. Ooh, barely keeps that Muta alive. 1-1 starts for REYNOR here. The armory is almost finished, so 2-2 will be starting for Maru in the near future. Maru is still building siege tanks, guys, so he's focused on the aggression. And on Jagannatha, I don't know if I like the siege tank style. It basically means he needs to do damage. His next couple of pushes need to do damage. He's already lost 1 tank. He's going to lose another siege tank. Dude, well worth trading a Muta for that siege tank. Oh my god. He's got no artillery. It's just Hellions and a Banshee added to Marines. And Maru wisely drops the 2nd factory, realizing, fuck me sideways and call me Sally, man. A giant Ling round by gets in. Maru, raise the wall. Oh my god, that's already... He's in every single mineral line. The wall isn't raised. A siege tank does siege up back there, but Maru very slow. He's even slower to react than I am to notice this going on. The siege tank in the main goes down, and this is a disaster for Maru, who loses a surprisingly low number of SCVs, but his whole army gets pulled home. Mutas are even picking off depots. We've got Banelings morphing on the right, which thankfully Maru does catch. I can't believe he only lost 2 SCVs. That's kind of insane. But let's see what other units he lost. Another siege tank, even more Marines. Do we see double tech lab? Surely not. You've got to go reactor there. But the reactor's only now starting, so he's going to go drilling claws. It's just so slow to be getting into the Widow Mines here against a Mutiling Bane REYNOR, who has maximum control over this map right now. His creep is spreading really well on the right. He does need to replenish and respread the tumors on the left, as well as over here. REYNOR has great economy, great Muta control. His upgrades are catching up, especially with +2 attack being forgotten. Cancel that armor. Get +2 attack, dude. Oh, fudgety shitballs. That is not good for Maru. Maru's been pushed back to his side of the map. He's building a 4th command center now. I think he's realizing he's probably going to have to turtle this up, and oh, the Marine doesn't stim. 11 workers to 2 Banelings. Maru's attention is really not looking great right now. He had his rally points, I think, out the front of the base for a moment, and then only a single Marine sitting there. That is not something that should be finding damage. REYNOR does that to distract Maru. It's like, hey, here's 2 Banelings, be annoying, be annoying, be annoying. This is just going to distract him, and any bit of attention I can steal from Maru is going to make it even better for me to go straight to 6 bases, 95 drones, soon to be 100 workers. I'm going to get my 2-2 started in a moment. We're making a Spine and a Spore. You know, I'm thinking about Burrow. I'm spreading creep. Well, basically, REYNOR's just doing low-cost things to kind of keep Maru distracted. It's not meant to do damage. 2 Banelings and a Mineral Line is a, maybe I fucking kill a Marine or distract him for a few seconds. This is looking like a big Baneling run by on the left. So Widow Mines are there. They might end up saving him. Ling Bane coming in. Muters in the main. 2 of them do go down. Ooh, okay, nice spready there to try and mitigate the Widow Mine hit. But oh my god, that's a big hit. And the Ling Bane comes in from the right. I think he's got to disengage. Yeah, tries to continue. The Marines in the main came down to the natural and ended up defending that. 22 SCVs go down though. And when you're already in such an economic position and a lead as REYNOR, this is an easy trade to take. Picking off the Widow Mines there. The Muters are still threatening on the left. And he's just going to rebuild. More Muters, more Lings, more Banes, +2 melee. Infestation Pits there. So he will go to Hive and Ultras as a potential finishing blow. But he's going to keep smashing Ling Bane Muter into Maru in the meantime. And Maru, knowing he's on 3 base versus 6 base, is like, oh, I got to get a 4th up. He's going to turn into a planetary. We've seen him defend Lurker Baneling Obsession from this sort of situation, but I love that REYNOR, remembering their last series, has said, how did I turn that series around? I kept going Muters, didn't I? I started playing a more mobility style, throwing waves of Muters at him, and really being able to utilize my aggression because it's more mobile than Lurker Baneling. I can open up new fronts. He's got to cover his main base. Look, this main base is open. I can fly in there, mate. His Ling Bane on the right, not really able to find much. And these Widow Mines are picking off Banelings. They're not really finding anything just yet, but he's just threatening. He's acting scary. You get some damage in the main, that would be great. It's not that many Muters. He arguably could fight that head on, but it's always scary when you're looking at +1 Muters up against a 2-2 Bio, or soon to be 2-2 Bio. Ling Bane rolls in, not a very good trade for REYNOR, but you got this economic advantage. You've got control. You don't need to be super good on the trades. Any trade is a good trade for REYNOR, who's got endless money and is very happy with this unit's lost up, because anytime you break through, that's when the trades get really good. Anytime those Banelings find an undefended Mineral Line, it looks exceptionally good for you. Muters come back in. Round 17 of Muter Harass, and Maru just doesn't have enough resources to stretch. He's equal on army supply right now, but can he protect his Mineral Line? Not really. And REYNOR's Hive is almost done. His +2 air weapons is starting up here. There's still pretty good creep spread. It hasn't had that much attention paid to it, of course. REYNOR focusing on kind of killing his opponent rather than spreading out that creep. He's going to spread a tumor on the left there. That was a great spready. Look at that. Did you see that, guys? That's a pig spread. I do that one all the time. That's fucking super pro. Does spread a bit of tumors on the left as well. So he's not really focusing on those defensive advantages, but 3-3 starts. Ultra Cavern, a little starved on gas, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see him take a few more gases. His gas income is insane. Oh, moving out on the map. The Widow Mines, of course, represent a big threat. REYNOR, though, some of the best spreads in the game. The Ling Bane is going to roll in and decides, whoa, 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 nuh-uh. And he finds the turret's not quite finished. Oh, Maru's got to be friggin' triggered by that one. The turrets get to like 90%. One of them finishes. It goes down. That planetary is taking big damage. He cannot afford to lose that planetary. I don't think REYNOR thinks he'll get it, so he's just going to focus down a few units, even get some Marauder. Oh, can he get the Thor? Oh, nice save on the Thor. The medevac picks that one up, gets it out of there. The Thor's splash damage only really hitting 1 Muter on the edge of the pack, which is why you will see players like Maru actually manually focus the center of the pack when they get a chance to. REYNOR rolling in, looking for any units he can find. He burrows Banelings in the face of Maru. Maru does see it, drops the scan. The Muter's coming back in. That's too many Marines backing up that Thor, though. Ooh, good micro, dude. Kindness platings here. Adrenal glands, I was about to say, has been forgotten. Nope, REYNOR forgets nothing. He sees everything. He's aware of everything. I mean, Maru is actually keeping 4 bases up. He's on only 57 workers, but the fact that he is surviving and trading as well as he is in such a down position is actually incredible. Let's see if he can keep it up. He's got a planetary here. He's got a lot of bio there supporting. Oh! REYNOR targets the medevac before the Thor can get unloaded out of it. A ferry back to safety turns into a death trap for that Thor. Baneling's rolling in on the right at the same time, trading with the bio. 7 SCVs go down. The planetary survives. Maru with a fantastic hold. But dude, that was a great Thor snipe. Getting the medevac with the Thor in it was a very good start to that fight for REYNOR. And he's going to find another Thor in the open. These are units Maru cannot afford to replace. Gets a Liberator as well. And look at this. Just when Terran is focusing on the extreme edges of the flanks, we were talking about this earlier today, it's often the natural, it's often the middle, it's up the guts of the Terran that ends up becoming the soft spot. That being said, these mutas are taking a lot of damage now. The Rallier Marines, the Liberators being used. The mutas do manage to get out of there, but they need a moment to regenerate. Maru does not want to give him that moment. He pushes across with just Marauders, a Thor, and a Liberator. There's no Marines here. They're all at home. The mutas go back in on the production. Oh, I mean, Maru's, he's got every single Marine at home. This push just doesn't have any anti-air. I mean, the mutas, I guess, are at home fighting, and a lot of them dying. Ultras are out, though. The Space Cows are on the field. 3-3 is kicking in right now, as is Adrenal Glands, and this Lingbane Ultra is just going to roll through. Broodlings from the right, Ultra Lingbane from the left. Yeah, there's some decent Marauder count, but there's just too much for REYNOR. Carrying that early lead, those Baneling roll-bys, the muta harassment was fantastic, and he shuts Maru down in map 1. All right, guys, game number 2. Let's see if we can bring it back. It's a rather good map for Terran here. Not too many bases for Zerg to expand to, and you're quite contained on 3 and 4 bases. Let's see if he can lock things down or get a good hard push on the opponent's third, as there's some very nice tank spots behind the rocks. This is Maru. He's just going to do a very standard barracks gas opening here. His opponent not going for the pool first this time around. The young gun, Liquid's Clam, aka Clash Gaming's REYNOR. The man who is, I believe, a month younger or 2 months younger than Clem, and yet refers to Clem as the kid. Some have said that his confidence and his, his boasting knows no bounds. Others have said he's just having a bit of fun. He's calmed down. Some people actually get triggered by REYNOR, which is fantastic. The fact that because he's so good and so confident and just has a good laugh and has a bit of fun, I love that some Pit fans get offended by that when he's like, having a laugh after beating their favorite player. And they're just like, he's so cocky. He's arrogant. I would say he's not arrogant. Well, he is kind of impetuous sometimes, is REYNOR, right? But with good reason. With good reason. I think Maru is also a player who, like, let's think about Maru's 2018. It's like, how would you describe Maru's 2018? You're like, well, he won every single GSL for a year straight. And you're like, okay, how do you do that? You're like, he proxy racks 60% of the games. You're like, oh, didn't people figure that out and start countering it? Yes, very early on in the year, they started doing that. Oh, so they started beating? No. They started getting massive leads, which he would then still come back and beat them with every single time. And that's why we got to think of Maru as this guy who purposely almost put himself behind. He's like, I want to kill you in the first 5 minutes, and you know it's coming, so you're going to get ahead, and then I'll have to beat you in a 37-minute game where I just play better than you. And you're like, oh, you're a god? Yes, my name's Maru, I'm a fucking god. You're like, okay. And hence the legend of Maru was born. We knew he was good, but that was when he became a legendary and somewhat mythical creature in Korea. And it was so great that it was parallel, kind of different universes. He was the Justice League, and Cyril was the MCU, the Avengers over in Europe at the same time. No, sorry, I don't hate Korea. I love Korea, guys. There's nothing wrong with Korea. They're not the Justice League. It's nothing deserves that title. The Reaper is going to jump in the main base and then just chill out. Hasn't really done anything. Very standard Hellion follow-up into the starport. So no quick third CC in either game this series. More of a traditional opening. Now, for those who remember... Oh, he loses the Reaper! Well, that's a bit of a friggin' disaster. That's not meant to happen. That's very lazy by Maru. Maybe he meant to click it over here. Did he see the third base? Yeah, he didn't see the third. I think he meant to click it down here and over there to check for the third and just got killed on the rotate. Very lazy. So I was going to say, big problem. What did Maru run into in the early game and all the other Terrans at Katowice that made REYNOR so unstoppable? Why was I predicting REYNOR to crush Maru before their match at Katowice? And I was actually surprised when Maru... I watched the first 8 minutes of the first couple games was like, yep, REYNOR's way ahead, and then watched him lose. And I was like, well, that's not meant to happen from there. He switched it up, ended up winning. But we did a big analysis of how the split on the queens and the early game attention to detail allowed REYNOR to get more creep spread than anywhere else. And it always hit a point on the map where it was spreading in so many directions that it was just impossible for a Terran to clean up without having a Raven out. And we talked about how maybe a Raven coming in is a way to help control it, but I was actually more adamant about... Dude, he saw the Marauder just then, didn't he? Yeah, he's seen... I'm pretty sure he's seen the Marauder. Sorry. Yeah, he's built a spine, and he's going to send Zerglings to backstab. So he knows there's a Marauder Hellbat coming, but Maru's still committing to it. I would say this is a little questionable. After being scouted, I mean, that being said, Overlord speed does cost you a lot of resources, but Maru is just doubling down on Queen Ling. So no Baneling Nest, no Roach Warren. Oh no, he's getting caught! He's going in too early! He thought Maru would already be hitting. He thought Maru was already on his side of the map. REYNOR throws away a lot of his Lings. The whole point is the Ling backstab is really hard for them to deal with. That being said, Maru did this very safe. Knowing he'd been scouted, he delayed it until his wall off was up, has a Hellion behind the wall. That Ling run by won't find shit. Queens are going to come forward. If they can focus the medevac, it's good, but the Marauders tag one of the Queens. We're going to finish that whole story about REYNOR's early game after, because this is a very important moment. Hellion guards the door. The Lings have to come back. The spine gets down here and roots. Part of me wonders if you could click on it, but with that much transfuse, I think I agree with Maru's decision to back off here. A lot of people, when you commit to a hard timing attack, they go, oh, if you don't kill a lot of drones, you're dead. No. If Maru was stupid enough to not kill drones and throw his units into that, that's where he's dead. But he wisely picks up, rotates. He says, use the Viking to keep clearing up Overlords, try to do a Hellion drop. He's got to pull that out. He's taking unnecessary damage. Rotate these units to the left. So he's continuing the threat and keeping REYNOR busy. And he's not throwing away these units because they can be used to defend a counterattack. They can be used to do other things. And this is one of the big things people miss when they look at aggression. They always say, how many drones do I need to kill for my Hellbat Marauder to be worth it? And there's two big questions people miss. Number one, how many drones did your opponent build? They go, well, why does that matter? Well, if your opponent's on 60 workers already and has no fighting units, you better kill fucking 40 of those workers because he's got no army, number one, so you've got the opportunity. Number two, he's so far ahead economically, you need to do that damage or you're going to die really bad. In this scenario, REYNOR was at equal workers with Maru. He built the defensive tools. So if Maru just headbutted into the defense, he not only doesn't kill drones, but he also throws his army away. So he wisely has backed off and he's created a sort of three-pronged pressure and zoning tool. Is it doing a lot? No. Is REYNOR just massing drones and getting roaches? Yes. Is REYNOR's position still good? Yeah, for sure. But this is a salvageable position for Maru. He's building tanks, he's building bio, he's landing... Oh, he's got the wrong third base. I've talked about how Maru is very weak against roach play before, but he has recently learnt that you take this third against roaches. I've been shouting at him to do it for years, and he took so long, but he has done it. The problem is, REYNOR's pretending this is a Ling build. He's like, look, here's my Zerglings, here's my Queens. I'm not making roaches, but he's massing roaches for a 1-1 roach all-in. So if he can keep hiding that, Maru's screwed, especially because Maru likes to build lots of depots out here. The trick to defend this as Maru is you actually want to have the third up here where you can defend in one little central area, build walls in front of it, and you may even want to pull back to your natural. You definitely don't want to move on the map and lose siege tank. Every siege tank is sacred, and he's building depots. Maru has no idea that this is Mass Roach. Now, it could still work out if he fucking just scrambles home and gets tanks on the high ground, but you, number one, cannot lose any siege tanks as Maru. Number two, fucking lift the third if you're getting overwhelmed and just run the SCVs away. The important thing here is the roaches won't scale well into bigger fights. Maru's army will. If Maru can save his units up, slowly build up more Marauders, more tanks, more Marines, and just get a bigger fight, as long as he doesn't get surrounded and jumped on, he'll be in a good spot now. Oh my god, REYNOR's still hiding it. Finally! Only now Maru spots it because the Queens are defending the bush entirely on their own. The Lings are backstabbing. The Roach Ravager's going for it. Maru's like, oh, fuck. Immediately abandons the third. So he is learning that respect for this style that I've been asking for so long. But his tank bio gets caught by the Queens. Why is he over here? Get back to the natural, mate. Why are you over here? He's caught out in the open a little bit. Now, REYNOR's split up as well. Maru's doing a good job of not throwing his units away, but is this enough? He's going to lose a lot of Marines. Roach Ravager in the natural at the same time. They're just turning into a bit of a shit show. REYNOR going for the throat. He knows he can't give Maru time to prepare. He's killing a lot of SCVs over there. That Roach Ravager does get cleaned up. The Roach Queen, though, keeps a lot of the bio busy in the middle of the map. That tank... Oh, can he get that tank? Oh my god, it's doing so much damage to these clumped roaches. They do get one more tank. 22 SCVs. Is that enough for REYNOR? It's definitely looking good. He starts 2-2 here, so he's going to go to the next step. He's gonna keep up Roach, but actually gets a few more SCVs. And this is definitely looking good for REYNOR, but the supply does lie. Todd, shut the fuck up. I know you want to say it. He's out there somewhere. He's floating around. Look at this supply. In this case, it's Roach supply. But Maru, number 1, still has the wrong third base. Number 2, his tanks are out in the open. And that's the problem with this third, is this terrain. It blocks you. You want to have your siege tanks here and covered by more tanks on the high ground. Out here, as these rocks go down, you're in the open, especially if REYNOR splits some roaches to come through the grass. REYNOR, I think, is just going to use this wide open area. Maru wisely pulling back into a tighter area. Oh, I do like that. And if he sieges this tank like here, maybe? I don't know, maybe there? He's got to be real careful. REYNOR's Queen Roach Ravager all in. I think it's just too many units. Yeah, I think Maru needed to pull back to his natural here. This is so much Roach Ravager. That tank on the high ground's doing a lot, but the transfusers are blanketing across this army, and that third has to be abandoned. Maru has got to pick up and get out of there. They had to do a quick pause there, apparently, as that bio pulls back the SCVs there. The command center floating on in. Roach Ravager Queen doing what it can. It's going to kill a lot of those SCVs on the retreat. That siege tank actually pulled back because it didn't want to get biled. He's going to do a bit of a bio counterattack as Maru try to keep his chances alive. REYNOR actually cancelled 2-2 so that he could make more ravages. He's now restarted +2 attack. REYNOR committing hard to his timings, finding a lot of damage so far, and he's not done just yet. Yeah, this is going to get cleaned up by the Roach Rally as they pop. There's not many units left. Ooh, 1 siege tank goes down on the front. No reason for REYNOR to push there, though. And actually, a few more Marine Marauders survived than I thought would. Maru gonna get REYNOR below 3 base saturation. REYNOR does have a 4th base already mining because his main has half mined out at this point. So he's transferred 8 workers from the main down to the 4th base. Natural is also a little mined out as well, as we're actually getting close to that 11-11-30 mark where half the mineral patches in the natural mine out. We see 2 mineral patches disappear right at that moment. So REYNOR here, he's still got a giant army. He's going to go Infestation Pit. We don't see Baneling Nest yet. We don't see anything that looks like he really wants to go to the ladder stage. He wants to contain, but he's got to make sure he spots drops coming out. So Maru's going to play really slow, build the tank count, creep forward. The chances of getting back in this game, he kind of needs to trick REYNOR, catch him with some drops. If I was REYNOR, I'd just push the ramp there. I actually wouldn't have gone home because 4 medevacs is too many. I would have tried to push, but you can understand why REYNOR is going to play it safe. Clumping on that ramp versus Tank Liberator is going to be a bit of a painful trade. I just feel he has enough ravages that he could bile down the libs and bust the wall quickly enough. But he's going to play safe, go defensive, at least on the right side. I don't think Maru should necessarily be trading here, but maybe works out okay. That's where he's going to fall into trouble, is REYNOR is going to lose that hatch on the left side. I wish Maru went for the drones. I actually think the drones are the more valuable target, but you know what? 74 workers and he doesn't have anywhere to mine from them. 41 drones on 1 base. Yeah, actually the hatch is probably the more important target, isn't it? Don't doubt Maru. Maru's a god. Maru's fighting his way back into this game. REYNOR's like, oh, fuck me, dude. I am not meant to lose this game. I am telling you, his pride is fucking on the line a little bit right now. Because I've been in this situation, REYNOR's in a lot. And I tell you, I get upset if I start losing from a ladder game like this. And if he loses a tournament match from this situation, 100 supply lead, he's going to be so fucking pissed off. He's got to abandon the front. Maru finally takes the correct 3rd base on the 3rd attempt. At one point, I will stop shouting at Maru through my replays as if he can hear me about this 3rd. And you know when? When he stops dying to Roach Ravager pushes by taking the correct 3rd. In this case, REYNOR hid the build really well, so I'm actually kind of joking there. I understand why he took the forward 3rd. Can REYNOR hold on? He's delaying with Biles, a big Roach run, but I'd love him to come in from that side and just sandwich this. REYNOR running back and forth. He's got 2 Vipers on the way, so he's going to try and probably abduct the siege tanks and libs. Now, do these Roaches just go for a counterattack or a sandwich? It's going to be counterattack, so they're just going to go for that 3rd mineral line. He says, you know what? That's... Oh, triple bile takes out a tank and a liberator. Oh my god, those sort of fights are so good for REYNOR. And now the bio, Maru's like, fuck, I gotta fight. He's fighting out of tank and lib range. The tanks and libs aren't doing anything. The Roaches are killing all of his SCVs at home. And REYNOR here, expertly picking him apart. His Vipers have gathered energy. He can now abduct the liberator in the tank. He's over the terrain right now, so he's got to do it. Oh, one of the Vipers got focused down. Nice micro by Maru there. Maru's going to push in and get another hatchery kill. Oh my god, REYNOR's got to be triggered by that, but the natural never really stabilized. That tank will slowly clear it up, but only ever so slowly. Maru's pulling back now. The third base is still there, landed. Don't lose the third. Lift. Oh my god, that's going to die to like 3 volleys. Okay, does pay attention and lift. Maru, not a pleb. Viper, Roach, Ravager on the way, +3 weapons on the way. It's 2-2 versus 2-2, soon to be 3-2. Upgrade advantage to REYNOR in a little bit. Army quality still better for Maru at this point. Catches a bunch of roaches on the way home nicely, but needs to get the hell out of dodge. Picks up and boosts on back. He's going to bring tanks and libs. He wants to take the fight to REYNOR because he knows economically, if he gives time for those bases to mine, those hatches to rebuild, he's on 27 workers. He doesn't have any longevity in this game. And REYNOR just tactically spreading his units out, splitting a few roaches, says, deal with this, deal with this, deal with this. Give me a moment for my upgrades to finish. Let me add some lurkers. Let me get that Viper energy out. Let's just consume a bit of hit points off those extractors. And REYNOR is doing such a good job of not allowing Maru to use the superior technicality of his army. When Maru moves forward, he gets biled before he can really siege in a game-winning position. When his buyer stands and fights, REYNOR's like, well, as long as your siege units aren't with you, then I don't mind. Liberator's going to go for some harassment on the left side. Here comes the Roach Ravager. Maru in the open, but Blinding Cloud plus Parasitic Bomb on the Medivacs. Oh, it's a disaster, mate. And REYNOR takes the 2-game advantage with some sneaky Roach play off a fantastic defense of the Hellbats. Well played. Down 2 games, a rough start to this series. And you know what? Getting kind of read like a book. I think I love the idea of mixing in a Hellbat Marauder timing. To go up against Overlord speed is frigging triggering, man. And he played the follow-up very well, but just the fact that he was not able to find the Roach Ravager tech was a real bummer. He's going to change it up again here in Game 3. A gas first opening, so very quick tech on the way. That's usually, so I love gas first for a really quick Hellion dive. So Maru might do a very quick 4 Hellion dive in the natural. That's my favorite way to open, because then you're going to have such quick Hellion production off this that you're still going to be able to get your next round of Hellions ready to pair up with a Banshee, a Liberator, or a Battlecruiser. So very aggressive Hellion play. The best way to do this is completely don't SCV scout at all, play blind, and you go Reaper, Factory, Reactor, and your Factory gets down at a minute 15 rather than about 2:15. It's about a 20-second lead. Why? Because you skip the Marine after the Reaper. So if your opponent happens to go pool first, run 6 slings across like REYNOR did in the previous game on Jagannatha, you're screwed in game 1. Yeah, you take a lot of damage because your Reaper arrives, goes, oh shit, that hatchery just finished, or is just finishing. Fudge, and you see 6 slings walk in your natural and you've got nothing to defend it. And that's exactly what Maru's doing. So Maru is taking a risk here. I like it. I like this risk. I like this risk from Maru because it's a small one. He's like, what are the chances you're going pool first and sending 6 slings across? Pretty damn low, I bet. And he could actually play it safe by leaving the Reaper at home. So he might, maybe he's playing it safe that way. Because you see that Reaper otherwise would be rallied here and then across the map. You'd queue the rally point because the rally point won't take into account the fact that the Reaper can jump up and down cliffs. So if you don't rally it here first, it'll pop out on the top right. But he's actually using the Reaper defensively, so he's actually going to play it safe. But Factory, Reactor, and part of the whole trick here is you can delay... You're meant to go second gas before depot. Maru, when was the last time you did a gas first, buddy? Right? Am I wrong? I guess you do them at basically the same time. It doesn't really matter. It's not the same time. I feel like that depot is a few seconds earlier than it needs to be, and as I see that, no. It's timing out perfectly. Depot finishes just as that SCV. Okay, it's just for me, for whatever reason, I always go start the gas, then start the depot. They started almost identically time anyway. Fair enough. Here I am. I haven't done a gas first in a little while. I gotta get my 4 Hellion dive going again. Now look at REYNOR's build order, guys. He's going OV speed instead of Ling speed. Very good for scouting, but if your opponent does a 4 Hellion dive, I mean, this is not late Ling speed. This is Ling speed is fucking never. It is going to kick in at like 4.5, 4 minutes 45. He's just defending with queens early. So if Maru dives, he's screwed. Now, REYNOR's build is very good against cheeky armory Hellbat attacks. It's good at scouting an early third command center. It's good at doing a lot of these things. But if Maru just dives 4 aliens and a Reaper across, he's in a great spot. Now, so far, he sees third hatchery, doesn't see the creep spread. It's going out there just freely. Ling speed starting at 3.5 minutes in the game. Overlord comes in. Maru, hide the Hellions. Yeah. So REYNOR doesn't really know this is a gas first. There's nothing here to tell him that. He's like, oh, okay, it's just a Hellion Banshee build. But now he sees these 4 Hellions coming. REYNOR, 3 Zerglings, 3 Queens. I think, yeah, I'm happy that Maru thinks like me. He's gonna fucking dive this for sure. He's going for it. What could he get? Okay, he wants at least 7 or 8 workers here, minimum. Already starts with 2. The ramp was very nicely blocked by REYNOR. Oh, I don't think that was a good call by Maru to go up there. Oh, he gets inside. There's no queen up there. Okay. Oh, and he blocks the, oh, Maru. A bit of miss micro from Maru. He went home to macro for a moment. He didn't want to stare at this too much. This is a lot of mining time and 6 drones. I think this could have been even better if he did a bit more focus fire and micro there. So I would say a small multitasking error, but not too bad for him. And what's fascinating is he paused Hellion production afterwards. Why? So that he could get his wall off up and his command center. Okay. He gives up map control completely. Normally you'd want to have at least 2 or 4 more Hellions behind that, but he's just going to go just Banshees only straight into 3rd CC, then Bio. It's good economy. It's going to go straight to the Bio phase of the game. But if Maru's going to do this, I think he needs to be prepared to go very quick reactor rather than tech lab on this factory. So you're going to swap it off that. If he gets another reactor and goes straight into Widow Mines, I'm okay with it. If he goes tanks afterwards, and he's up against Lingbane Muta, or even Lingbane into Lurker or Ultra, I don't like it, because Maru is going to be facing pretty immense creep spread. The fact that he doesn't have Hellions clearing it right now, like, REYNOR can just spread freely. REYNOR's getting that worker advantage now. He's getting a lair and a Baneling Nest. He's got his Queen split already. 2 up in the main, 3 down here. No Overseer with them just yet. Oh, don't want to lose that Queen. But the Banshee's unable to poke. Ooh, he's got a minivan planned down here. So you can... oh, actually, it's not even a minivan because he's got OV speed. He's going to do a Baneling drop. So it's not going to be a Zergling minivan. This is going to be the minivan that you throw bloody explosive vest-wearing Banelings at people from. He's going Siege Tanks is Maru. That's what I'm not the biggest fan of. Like I said, I feel like Widow Mines would be better. That being said, he denied the creep in the north pretty well. Yeah, I like this choice. So because he's had his creep denied up here, I feel like this base would be a bit exposed from just pushes coming through this way. Instead, REYNOR takes this base, which I think is the better option. And then maybe take this base. Maybe this one doesn't really matter too much. 5th base is not as important as the 4th. It's going to be Spire for REYNOR once again. Upgrade lead is there for Maru as he establishes his 3rd base. And this game kind of calms down for a little bit. I do like that scan. He gets both active tumors with it. Nicely done. REYNOR will immediately respread them, so very quick on moving forward, but it's even just a little slowdown there is nice. What do we got? 1 tank, 12 Marines going through the north of the map. Shields is 50 seconds away, 40 seconds on 1-1. 5 barracks is up, so we can now build 9 Marines, 1 tank, 2 medevacs at a time. Baneling drop coming in towards the main, though. There's no spotter there. Dude. Oh, and look at this. Lings shut that down. Queens shut that down. Baneling drop comes in. Go to Maru's camera. Maru's not looking. Maru's distracted by those Zerglings. He doesn't see it. Oh, no. Oh, not the best drop on the first ones, but oh, that second drop was very good. Lots of workers killed for future drop as well. He could send 8 Zerglings to finish off a lot of those SCVs. I'd love him to split some Lings there into that drop. Already, though, 11 SCVs is a great start. 76 workers for REYNOR, but he's forgotten his 1-1. He's already down 2 upgrades. Now, there's no armory on the way until now, after 1-1 finishes. So, Maru's upgrades are going to stall out a little bit. But REYNOR has completely forgotten his 1-1. That's a disaster. The Banshees will defend this as well. These SCVs can mineral walk to the natural. He'll get a couple. Not too many. There's a few of them. Marine tank comes on forward here. Oh, he's got nothing. Where is... and his 1-1 still hasn't started. REYNOR's forgotten his upgrades. Oh my god, I mean, this is not buy time. This is a, oh shit, I was caught with my pants down. He's morphed Banelings, but he completely loses the base. And this was a deep push from Maru. This is the sort of push that I think REYNOR, he had the numbers to jump on that. If he was already at his Banelings pre-morph, but he just gets completely blindsided. REYNOR, I mean, this is what we talk about, his impetuous nature. Sometimes REYNOR will both attack with all of his units, just backstab, and he'll also just be greedy as fuck at home. And he's done it again here. And look at that, Banelings. Oh my god, they kill 1 depot. 2 depots and set fire to some. Oh my god, a lot of Ling Bane went down there as well. Dude, these fights are going terribly. Finally, he follows up with those Lings in the main. He gets a bunch of SCVs. Banelings in the middle. Nice trade there for REYNOR. But does he have enough Lings to capitalize on it? Oh, that tank position. You can't get us around on that. Oh, that's a very annoying tank position. Now, the Lings do pick up and save themselves. They could come back another day. Muta's going to fly in the mineral line. But Maru says the best defense is a good offense. He's going to keep pushing through the creep. And this really shoves REYNOR's map control back. Maru here, I mean, I was like, fuck building siege tanks. This is bad. Maru says, siege tanks, good. Me use siege tanks very well, and they're actually anchoring his pushes exceptionally well. 4 Mutas is not that big a threat. They can't one-shot SCVs. The Marines are dealing with it okay, and dude, REYNOR's going to lose another base. He evacuates drones. That base is not rebuilt. He's got a base there, but it's separated. And what are these Mutas doing in the meantime? I mean, they're picking off SCVs. It's stacking up. 12, 13. I mean, that sounds good, but look at the worker count. 68 to 60. Maru's building SCVs through this. He's taking this damage on the chin, and he doesn't even look wobbled right now. Banelings, though, say, get fucked, dickhead. And they don't quite get in just enough Marines to hold the mineral line, and a few of the Mutas go down. Oh my god, Maru with just enough units in just the right places. Oh, this is actually, wow. Wow, knife's edge defense from REYNOR is like stab, stab, stab. Try to trip him, try to punch him, try to fucking palm him in the fucking nose. He's doing everything he can, and Maru's like barely deflecting every blow. He's got all these stabs through his coat that somehow haven't actually pierced his skin. So Maru is handling things like a champ. REYNOR just cannot find an opening. His creep's being pressed back into a corner. He has a Ragnarok of creep spread right now. For those who don't know, Ragnarok's creep spread very famous for not existing and him winning the game anyway. Let's see if REYNOR can pull it off. I don't know, man. He doesn't have an economic position. Banelings don't find the mark again. Maru just dancing all day, spreading his SCVs, refusing to go down. His 2-2s on the way right now. It's equal upgrades for this small moment in this game, but there's no creep. There's a 20 army supply advantage, and in 25 seconds, 2-2 kicks in for Terran. Now, Maru, he wants to set up for this fight. There's this kind of scary part as the Terran. You don't want to fight before 2-2, but you also don't want to give him too much control and space. You can't be too pansy about it. Maru backs off for a moment, but I tell you, he wants to fight Marine versus Zergling as these upgrades kick in, and they're kicking in. He's got 2 solid minutes of upgrade advantage. Maru has a lot of chances to turn this into a good position for himself. He's zoning out the Mutas. Ling Bane is joining up with it. But he's got a big army moving forward, tank anchoring the position, a lovely pre-spread. And this is what I love to see from Maru, especially when you're playing cross-server as they both are. No one's going to have perfect micro ever in this sort of chaotic situation, but especially not cross-server. Muta's going to snipe a turret here. They're going to get a little bit of damage, but the Marines are back there. Remember, 2-2 Marines going to do very well. Maru does get that hatch. He cancels the hatch in the north. And he's got an army already on the last base of REYNOR. Oh my god. Ooh, can REYNOR defend? Oh, very good. Very good hold. Maru a little slow to decide to pick up there. And at the same time, there's Mutas over there. Baneling's going to roll in the natural. Thor says, no, stay away from my kids, you dirty little fudges. And oh, Mutas go down to the Marines at the same time. I don't think it's possible to catch all the action in this game on one screen. I'm sorry, guys. It's not. All I can say, though, is REYNOR is losing. It's a knife fight where REYNOR has a lot of stab wounds, and Maru is the one who has some awesome shanking skills right now. Lings are going to run in. Will this finally do some damage? REYNOR's been unable to find it all game. He's going to run in on the front at the same time with 3 Banelings, 10 Zerglings, and a pack of Mutas. There's still a lot of Marines. The hatch falls. The Zerglings kill a few SCVs, but the Marines and the Thor are cleaning it up, and REYNOR has to tap. Maru finally gets one on the board. All right. Let's go, fam. Down here in the bottom right-hand side in the red, the Italian Stallion going into Blackburn. This is REYNOR. His opponent in the bottom left-hand side, I think a bit of a confidence booster doing the comeback the way he did in that last game. I don't know though. Like I said, I wouldn't have minded Quick Widow Mines with the way he played. Oh, I think I just got like a party invite or something like that. No worries, Warlock. Down here in the bottom left, this is Maru. I was like, yeah, what does that sound? Did I just disconnect from Blizzard services? Is what I thought it was, but who knows? All good. This is Blackburn. Good map for Terran because there is this wonderful pushing path through the middle. You do not want to be engaging ranged units with melee units anywhere near that. These rocks also create some choke, like, you know, it's just less mobility until they're taken down. Gold base is always going to be easier for the Terran to both defend theirs from Lingbane and assault yours from behind it. So there's a lot of things going for Terran here. That being said, it's still a decent push distance across the map. The gold base, if the Zerg gets it early enough and controls it, you know, it's a big mineral boost. Zerg can do a lot of things with that. REYNOR is going to open up pool first here, and this time it's a defensive pool first, guys. So, with this pool first, notice because he hasn't built any Zerglings, he's actually just droning super hard and delaying his gas a ton. So he's actually saying, you know what, I'm going to do a gasless opening off this pool first. Only build a queen, maybe 2 Zerglings. He's actually going to go... Oh... 21 third hatch. Okay, REYNOR. Getting sexy. Maru's skipping scouting again, but it is a more standard barracks gas this game around. So going back to basics for Maru, whose Reaper's going to go across the map, jump into the main of REYNOR. So REYNOR goes third hatch. Overlord, drone. He's got just 2 Zerglings, but they're purely a defensive tool, I believe. Just to help support the queen in case the Reaper runs past. And he's going to build a second queen immediately. And you can see it's supply blocked, but only for a few seconds, and he's back into non-stop drones. Super mineral focus build. Now, why is he doing this? It's because if you get queens out here, Hellions can't get past without going threatening your third. And you're going to spot that miles ahead with your overlords. So you can have plenty of time to walk your queens from there to there. So you can arguably defend all Hellion harassment with queens. Hellion harassment is just not that good on Blackburn unless you can drop in the main, open up a new front, or dart past when the queens are a little out of position, which, as I just described, is almost impossible to do. Maybe if you get a Viking out, you could do it. Maru, though, is not focusing as hard on that. He's actually going for a quick 3cc this game. So this is very different to the previous games where he always went non-stop Hellions and Starport both as soon as he could. Notice his Starport's delayed just a little bit because he spent the minerals in the command center. And he's obviously not building those Hellions yet because the reactor's delayed. He's just built a couple of Marines after the Reaper and spent that money on the economy. So it's all about the economy. Now he goes for the second gas. Still might be Hellion Banshee, but it's later, delayed, and much more kind of poking and light pressure Hellion Banshee. It's not, I'm in your bloody face Hellion Banshee. Now that's a good snipe. Does get rid of a creep tumor. It's not a tumor. Second, oh, sorry, not a second gas. That's your first gas, isn't it? REYNOR hasn't even mined his first 100 gas yet, but he's on 34 drones, so it's an impressive economy. And as I said, as long as his queens are in position, he'll be good. Now he's going to put Overlord there, Overlord there. This Overlord's going to go there. I mean, I would like one up here as well. That's this Overlord. He's moving it there. I would like it to be further up. I think he should see that rotation far ahead of time. There's no reason not to. Now, he does send an Overlord in, gets killed by the 2 Marines, doesn't see the 3rd command center, but he sees no add-on on the barracks. Now, arguably, you could think, oh, this could be a Hellbat timing because he's building multiple Marines. It could be the one where he gets 3 or 4 Marines out of the barracks, loads them in. But I don't think REYNOR's too worried because if we look at his vision, he could see that the barracks, I don't think was building. There was no lights on it, right? I'm not sure actually if that would show up through Fog of War or not, but I don't think Maru faked a Marine. Now it's a fusion core, so Maru's going to open Battlecruisers, and Hellion's banking up here, so it's a Viking into BC. Where is that Viking? Hasn't found a kill yet. Of course, the Marines killed the first Overlord, so fair enough. It's going to kill this Overlord in just a little bit. 7 Queens are out. Now, Queens are fantastic versus Battlecruisers. You've done a big gasless build where you're going 8+ Queens by default. I'd be feeling pretty happy here as REYNOR. Now, he is worried about Hellbats. He puts down a spine as just a little bit of insurance. One Overlord does go down there. That Overlord, interestingly, does not pull back. Instead, it tries to go further forward, and the Viking barely misses it. Hellion's darting in. This is what I was pointing out with his Overlord should have been further forward on the north to see this rotation ahead of time. Only loses 1 drone, though, so acceptable, but only letting a Hellion get bruised for Maru as well, so he's fine with that. So Lair's finishing up, and he is going up to... Oh, got to cancel that Evo. He does do so. So what do we got? 15 Zerglings, 8 Queens, 54 drones, but it's 44 SCVs in a landed third. Remember, with this quick third command center, you might be like, hey, there's no damage landing. REYNOR's economy is sick. It is. Maru's economy is also very sick. Transfuse at the last moment, saves that. Viking takes some damage. Hellion's going to rotate the top again, though. And once again, I said REYNOR's vision is really poor in the north. He's got 2 Queens pre-positioned, though, so it's the beginnings of defense. Oh, a Zergling ran in, but got killed by the Marines. Did not see that this is mech. He has no idea this is mech just yet. Double armory, double factories on the way. I mean, that battlecruiser is going to come out soon. These Hellions aren't finding anything, though. Ooh, this is pretty bad for Maru. Those Lings should go up to the top left and stop them escaping. The Queens have blocked them, I believe. No, he lets them out, but the battlecruiser is teleporting in. Unfortunately for REYNOR, he lets those escape. He should not have done that. He could have trapped them in there. The BC gets 1-2 drones. But it takes a ton of damage, dude. The double spore preparation from REYNOR, I don't know if he sensed this or this was, I think he must have sensed it. You've got to remember that this is the most exposed flank for air harass, is the main base, but it also is an edge where you can double down on the defense. So he shuts that down. And he's going Spire here. So he's going to go either Mutas to control the BCs and then also force like Cyclones and Thors and Widowmines out. Or he can go Corruptors and then just go back into Ravagers. But there's no Roach Warren just yet, which makes us think he might try to just be really greedy with Mutiling Bane for a while. Now, this originally pushed Mech out of favor in Korea a year ago. My timeline's off. Whenever it was last popular in Korea, remember Innovation losing to Dongregu's Mutiling Bane. That was very painful. Essentially what happens is the Zerg, by just building a pack of mutas, they can shut down BCs. Basically, they're not the best at killing the BCs, but they're so mobile, and you get enough of them that they're like, okay, the BCs can't really do anything. Maybe they can occasionally Yamato 1 or 2. And then they've got to build turrets, and they've got to not build tanks and Hellions as much. They've got to build things that shoot up. So the Terran kind of gets forced into investing in all this anti-air. My scan does see the Spire. And you could use that as a launching pad, just off some mutas, some banelings, some lings, get 80 workers off it. And then what would often happen is the Terran would be so focused on like, okay, I got Thors, I got Cyclones, I got BCs. And you'd basically just attack with the mutas and you'd just roll banelings in and you'd always kill a bunch of SCVs either on the natural or the third because they wouldn't quite be able to get everything up in time. And then you'd drone to like 100 workers behind it and swap back into Ravagers and what do you want, Infestors, Swarm Hosts, whatever style you're playing, and it kind of depends on what mech units they build. You can go into that, you can go Lurker Viper, Hydra Viper, there's so many things you could do. Battlecruisers are going to come on through and start to take down that Spore Crawler. And two Queens do go down there. Oh my god, this is a bit of an issue. No, it's fine. It's fine. A few drones go down, a little bit of a pain, but not the end of the world by any means. All right, the Queens are going to go for that battle cruiser, but it teleports out safely. Mutas come in. Looks like the one does get Yamato'd. They cancelled an add-on or two there. Cyclones deflect them for now. No mag field for the Cyclones, as that doesn't help versus the Mutas. They're just being used as a bit of space control for now. REYNOR, though, has not done the Baneling attack I talked about, guys. What was there to defend that? There was 2 tanks and some Hellions. Lingbane could have rolled into the third in the natural here, and he could have done that attack, but REYNOR not going for it, and even letting the 4th base get up because those BCs kept him busy. Now there's turrets there, there's a planetary going up. REYNOR has a great economy, but he's going 1-1 melee carapace, no sign of a Roach Warren or an Infestation Pit in sight. REYNOR is trying to win with Mutiling Bane against Mech. Now, for those who don't know, we talk about REYNOR being cocky, being impetuous. He literally said Mech is so bad a few years ago that he thinks Mutiling Bane beats it every game. And everyone was like, look, Mech isn't the greatest, but like you can't beat Mech just going Mutiling Bane every game. Maybe you'll get a win here or there if you're way ahead, but like it's not. He's like, no, it beats it. It's way better. It's fine. Let me show you. And him and Marine Lord had a bet. So Marine Lord, they played like a best of 5. And Marine Lord was like, okay, you're just going to play Mutiling Bane? And everyone's like, well, REYNOR's a better player than Marine Lord. But Marine Lord knows what he's doing. So, we'll see how it goes. Marine Lord fucked REYNOR up. Dude, he was like, dude, I'm just going to build a shitload of Thors and mines and like just not fucking die to your dumb shit and keep expanding. And like, Mutiling Bane trades like shit if you can't get momentum. And that's exactly what's going on right now. REYNOR was like, okay, I guess I was wrong, guys. And he took it with a smile on his face. He was laughing about it. He's like, I was wrong. Okay, Mech's better than I thought. Good Hellion run by right there. Does get 19 workers, and that really messes up REYNOR's economy. Now he's only got 96 drones. But what's he going to do? There's 2 Thors and 8 Widowmines out. Thor Widowmine slaughters this army. It slaughters this army, guys. Ravagers are really good versus Thors and Mines. Part of the whole point of going mutas is you force Thors and Mines. They suck versus Ravagers. Ravagers can bile down Mines from afar. They can just bile down Thors and like one-shot them and stuff, do some good in and out micro. But massing Mutiling Bane, this is a one-dimensional and silly way to play, and REYNOR is not apparently learning his lesson from that past game. If he was way ahead, it would be fine, but look, he's got no gas in the bank. He's going to go for the BCs. He's got +1 Is +1 armor done on these BCs? It looks like it is. Oh my god, they're tanky. They're just picking off so many of these mutas and teleporting out. Not as... I mean, we talk about the battlecruiser attacks. If those were corruptors, you snipe 4 mutas, but you lose 1 BC before you teleport home. Apparently with Mutalisks, not quite as effective. 104 drones seems like he can trade in efficiently, but he's got nothing to kill the Thors. Zerglings technically would be good if he can get rid of all the Hellbats, but even just 1 or 2 Hellbats trickling in is going to be so good. And I talked about it earlier, you don't ever want to fight in this slow zone. He thinks, oh, it's a few units on their own, let's take it. He kills 1 Thor, 3 Hellbats for about 1 billion units. I mean, this is a terrible situation. Also, if you're going to keep building mutas, you've got to go double Spire, because he's got +2 attack. And when they hit +2 attack, they 2-shot mutas. So no longer are the Thors 3-shotting mutas, they have crossed the boundary to 2-shotting. If you had +1 carapace, that would negate that at least until the Terran gets +3 vehicle weapons. So this is actually a big problem for REYNOR. His mutas are even more fragile as this upgrade kicks in. And man, this is a big problem. Look at this. It's just a bunch of Thors and Hellbats, but they're going to trade so well. Banelings are like, we can clear the Hellbats. Well, not if they're clumped up. Not if they're spread out. You're relying on him clumping up. Thor, Hellion, I mean, the Zerglings now get to show how good they are versus Thors, but you need a lot of them. That's like 30 Zerglings. He's going to take him out, but oh my god. Actually, a lot of these mutas are barely surviving on red hit points, so maybe that upgrade knowledge I dropped is old school from when mutas were slower at regenerating. They might actually regenerate so quickly now that they barely survive the second shot. So ignore dumb shit that comes out of my mouth that's 7-year-old knowledge from literally pre-Heart of the Swarm, guys. Some of the shit I say is literally an old man in his rocking chair talking to himself. What can I say? I'll be the first to admit it. Not everything I say is right. I get things wrong all the time. Fact check me. Tell me I'm wrong, bitches. It's fine. It's fine. The mutas are getting savaged. Once again, another trade where all the queens go down. This is a terrible situation for REYNOR. I mean, he's just getting slaughtered by mass BC, Hellion, Thor. There aren't even any Widow Mines over here. All the Widow Mines stayed on defense. He didn't even bring any. If there was ever even 1 or 2 Widow Mines under the BCs or the Thors during these muta fights, you would see the mutas get destroyed because the Widow Mine splash is so big and it takes 1/3 of the hit points off the mutas. Same thing with regen. They don't die to 3. It takes 4 Widow Mines, but with BCs, Thors hitting them, it's crazy. So there's 1 Widow Mine here. I mean, he's trying to defend, but REYNOR, let's look at the units lost. Oh my fuck. 2.5 times less efficient. Maru is just straight up pleasuring himself in this game. He's like, dude, this is the experience you get when some Bronze League talks trash and then you get to like 1v1 him. I mean, no offense to REYNOR, but he just chose the wrong style. If he was going to do this, I think he did need to do some more big Baneling busts on the planetaries in the north. And I guess he needed to catch these BCs earlier, maybe kill 1 or 2 or something like that. But we're seeing that BCs, if they keep their armor upgrades in line with the attack upgrades of the mutas just take forever to kill him. And he's going to dive on him again, and he gets a battlecruiser for 6 Mutalisks. That's 400 minerals, 300 gas for 7 Mutalisks for 700 minerals, 700 gas. This is really savage, guys. This is not good. This one, not good. Yeah, Mutiling Bane, I think it's a great way to start. Force your opponent to build all these units and then fuck them up with Ravages. I love mutas as a transition force. I think REYNOR missing the initial Baneling roll-in on the 3rd and the natural at the maybe 8-minute mark was a big mistake. I think the moment Bane speed kicks in, get in there with a big round of Ling Bane. This is also what you often do in Zerg vs. Zerg. Is with Ling Bane Muta, it doesn't trade well, so it's important for you to roll in, do damage to their mineral lines, kill a lot of workers, be greedy drone behind it, do another big roll in, be greedy, and then you can play this mass Muta harassment, mass Baneling roll in on the planetary game. But you've got to set yourself up to get there. And remember, Maru, even though his first battlecruiser got shut the heck down, he did a good job with his Hellion micro and run bys. He really stayed patient and steady. He macroed super hard into that 3rd base. And REYNOR looked a little bit lost with how to deal with mech on Blackburn. GG's. Alright. Game number 5. We're going on to 2,000 Atmos. That's right, we are on the bottom of the ocean here. It's been a map we've been seeing a lot of. And I really like the architecture on this map. Creates some interesting situations. In the top right, it's Maru. He's tied up the series now, so this boy down here in the bottom left better tighten up his ship if he wants to keep this series in his control. Definitely feel that momentum shift so far. It's REYNOR. Looks like brew first, hatch first, hatch first. All right, he's going to go back to the hatch first. Is REYNOR, no fear of the proxy barracks. Barracks gas for Maru. So thinking about this map, I imagine, I mean, I always go this base, but Eurozergs tend to love triangle third bases and kind of spreading the creep forward. Interesting, this Overlord is kind of going up there. This Overlord's going out to the right. So he's just looking for proxy barracks right now. He's going to go hatch gas pool. So the reason I'm not the biggest fan of this pool placement is they can kind of, if Hellions run in and you're chasing them with Zerglings, they get like, they can stop there and there's a choke point. Same thing there, like a few units could wedge themselves in there. I don't like choke points in like, as a Zerg. I like, you know, it's like, I build my pool like here. So it's like, there's no real, there's wide areas everywhere. There's like a little bit of an open corner here or there, but nothing too tight. Same thing in like PvT. You know, I don't like having too many buildings blocking up around my base. Like I might block the rotation angle, but that gets me in trouble sometimes with rotating to defend drops. So it's kind of interesting. At least this is the backside. So obviously if you put your pool out here, it's going to get sniped by drops way too easily. So he did SCV scout. This game did Maru. So he's actually knowing that it's hatch first. His Reaper can safely go across the map. Factory's on the way here for Maru. And straight into second gas. So back to what he did in the first couple of games of this series. We expect probably Hellion Banshee opening again. All the Terrans like Cure, Maru, these best TVZ players, Clem. This Banshee, Hellion addicts, man. They're like, this keeps them safe. I think it's just that. It's just the fact that the Banshee is such a useful defensive tool compared to, say, a Liberator, that it allows them to be confidently greedy. And it's not a bad aggressive tool either, even though I'm always like, it's so hard to use aggressively. These guys are so fast that they make the Banshees worthwhile. It's a really flexible aggressive tool. Now that Reaper did actually get a fair bit of damage just forcing a couple of those tricks, those Spore Crawler and Extractor tricks to save the workers. Orbital's on the way, Hellion's gonna be producing in a moment, and Starport is already down. 2 gases mining, of course. And we expect the command center to go down to complete the wall probably at about 4:20. No later than 4:30. Earliest about 4 minutes 10 with this build order. Oh, whoa. Okay. Maru getting a little antsy there. Does get a bit of damage on the Zerglings, but doesn't kill any. Third base is over here, so I much prefer this third base. I like that REYNOR is doing that. I was wondering, I was like, do people take this third? Because it seems, I mean, it's got wide open areas in front of it. So there's an argument for it, but I mean, besides those rocks, this is a pretty wide open area as well. It's so easy to just run around and flank and cut off the rally. Oh shit, Fusion Core again. Oh my god. Okay, that was not a Blackburn special. Maru's going to play Beasties again. Very likely mech again. He's building another Marine to help deny the scouting. Go right, REYNOR. Go right, REYNOR. No, he's not going to see it. He's not going to see it. There's no way he saw that. Yeah, he didn't see the Fusion Core, so he doesn't know it's going to be BCs again. Now, remember, he had a really good start against the BC at the start of that last game. And I tell you,
for the Bezos box.
Maru would have been like probably a bit triggered. When he teleported in on top of 2 spores, that's like, oh, number 1, what the fuck? You didn't scout my Fusion Core. Why'd you have 2 spores in there, you piece of shit? Number 2, you can't let your first BC get to 200 hit points for 2 drone kills and then be useless for the next minute. Like, that's really, really shitty way to start the game. And yet he won that game. So that's a confidence booster, and I think that's why we're seeing this style again. Now, it is BC after third command center. So he's prioritized that third CC, which makes sense. Obviously cutting Hellion production a little bit to make sure he has the minerals for the more important things, the battlecruiser and the command center. These Hellions just poking around looking for the damage. Spores are building very early, so very safe play by REYNOR, who, I mean, Cloak did get faked on that tech lab, remember, when he was scouting. I didn't point that out before, I should have. So Maru kind of sold the story of, yeah, there'll be Banshees coming across this map. And third and fourth gas is up nice and early. So yeah, third CC, BC, third and fourth gas. Then second and third factory. And then he did double armory, then fourth and fifth factory in the previous game. So I imagine that's his favored mech build order. Solid way to play. Notice he hits a supply block, but his command center finishes. So this is well timed. 15 supply from a command center. It's almost 2 supply depots worth. Baneling Nest is on the way. On 7 queens going to 9, so it's a good queen count for REYNOR. There's 3 in the main as well. Oh, BC on the front though. BC on the front. REYNOR slow to react. He loses the high energy queen, does he? Oh, we need another transfuse, but he doesn't quite have the energy. Hellions are in the mineral line. Where are the Zerglings? Where are the Zerglings, mate? Oh, God, that friggin' volley from the Hellions in the choke point. Dude, those Hellions roasted those Zerglings like they were nothing. Hellions are going to try to go past here. BC does fall back. 9 drones, 3 queens, 14 Zerglings, 11 drones, more mining time, and more Zerglings going down. The surprise, that is what you want from Maru. He's like, yes, you don't know this is coming. Rather than teleporting in the main where he knows the queens are always split for REYNOR because he's so prepared for the Banshee option, teleports on the face, dives in, and that was a great combo attack. Really well done by Maru there. Oh, I love that. Repair the BC, repair these Hellions, and then go back to using them as a harassment tool. If you want to just sit back defensively, you just let 1 or 2 SCVs slowly repair them. You lose less mining time all of a sudden, all at once. But the reason you do it this way is the Hellions can immediately get back across the map and be an aggressive tool again. So you just want to get them repaired as fast as possible. And he even shift-clicked them, so they were going to repair every Hellion and then automatically go back to mining. Double Armory is indeed on the way in the back. There's an engineering bay at the front. Creates a little bit of a wall, just harder for the opponent to swamp you, as well as, of course, the potential to build missile turrets. +1 range, +1 melee on the way. So yeah, he's gonna build Spire, but probably Corruptors and Ravagers, I would imagine. Much more standard way of playing. Ooh, good pull on the drones. Okay, these Hellions aren't finding that much yet. Uh-oh, BC's coming in though. Dude, he's got to go. No. Oh, there's still 4. They can still one-shot. Oh my god. REYNOR. No. Ooh. Anyone call for some barbecue? Holy shit. Oh my god. 12 Hellions have gone down, but 25 drones, 37 Zerglings, both BCs still alive. Fantastic trades so far. And actually, we can bring up the battle report. That fight, 10 Hellions, the 17 Lings, 14 drones, 3 queens. Another 2 queens just went down. Sorry, guys. I'm not used to using that battle report screen. Did he just lose a BC, though? He did. He just lost a BC, guys. So, 1 BC for 2 queens. That last one, not so good. If he got it out, it would have been worth it, but a bit too greedy from Maru. So that gives REYNOR a small win, but a necessary win. Now, he's down. He's down 10 workers. Maru, if he can get that 4th established, he's going to be mining like crazy. Hellion Cyclone on the left, BC on the right. What do we got? Have we got Roaches out? 2 Corruptors are out, 4 more on the way. So he'll have 6 Corruptors plus the Queens. That's enough to deal with the BCs. Hellions dive. Oh, roasty toast. 5 more workers do go down. Make it 6. Does lose the Hellions though. That's acceptable as long as REYNOR can get up to like 80 workers and just stop taking damage for 30, 40 seconds. He will be able to max out. And interestingly, Maru's playing more of a battle mech style with a couple of Cyclones, 5 Cyclones, and now he's gone into tanks and non-stop Hellions. His 4th and 5th factory very delayed. Does have to be a little wary of walling his units in, but he's got 1-1 upgrades on the way. 1-1 is done for REYNOR, but it's the least important thing right now is his upgrades. It's actually way more important for him to get like a 5th base up and a bit of a Ravager squad on the ground and just kind of secure his side of the map and stop taking damage and keep his economy high. Upgrades just in general aren't that important versus mech, but it does start +2 range straight away. If he gets the melee as well, that would be nice. Does he have Bane speed? He does not. So Bane speed, once he's got a good section of Ravagers out, enough Corruptors to deal with the BCs, which he's at 13 going to 15 Corruptors. Oh, he wants to fuck the BCs up. So he's actually over-committing to Corruptors so that he can shut them down super hard. And potentially that also gives him the chance with 15 Corruptors. If he might kill a BC. And if Maru's greedy, does Yamato before teleport, he might lose a BC to that. So REYNOR is really wanting to like shut down the BCs hard. It means he's very light on the ground, 15 Lings, 11 Roaches. But Maru's playing kind of defensive, and he's going into mostly tank Thor Hellion production. So I think this is a gamble that pays off, and oh, well done. Spotting units out there, and look at that. So, does he kill a BC? No, but one of them wasn't able to use its Yamato. it had to just teleport back or it would have died. So already that overcommitment to Corruptors actually lowers the tax over time. Every time you do an engage like that, and then if you kill the BCs, it becomes hyper efficient and super worth it. Now, Hellions are going down the right. REYNOR is going to see those Hellions coming. He's got to get over there. So Army Roach Ravagers on the right side of the map. Doesn't have anything down there right now. Big push starting to make its way forward. Only a few tanks in there. 3 more factories on the way. 8 factories, Gumiho style, like non-stop mech production's going to come out of this. Just massive upgrades on the way. High Bane Speed and 2-2 are on the way for REYNOR, but it's not ready just yet. He doesn't have that Bane. Without Bane Speed, he can't really just swamp over one of these armies. And this push actually does look kind of soft, honestly, for Maru. I feel like this is a pretty small section of units. But with the overcommitment to Corruptors, his army's not that big. He runs in and gets Yamato'd, so he pays a big Corruptor tax there, getting too horny with his Corruptors. And now he cannot lose this hatch. REYNOR, you got to get out there, mate. You got enough Lings and Roaches. Oh, he should not have lost this hatchery. He's got enough units, even without Bane Speed. I get he kind of doesn't want to fight, but REYNOR's got to fight for territory and control. But this is dangerous. Maru is split pushing, which normally you don't do with this sort of mech army. You do that with a pure Cyclone Hellion army. So Maru's getting super greedy and ambitious. Gets some good queen kills, but he's going to get cleaned up there. That does allow the BCs to cause troubles. Now he's going to try and push in the natural with this army. I pointed out before, this is 3 tanks of Thor and a couple of shitty battle mech units. This army will get crushed if it gets surrounded, but REYNOR's like not set up and he's taking damage. So he's going to attack in a bit of a clump here. Oh, and he doesn't really get the Banelings onto the Cyclones. This is a messier trade than it should have been for REYNOR. If he set up a flank, he would have got way better as the Ling Reinforce comes in. There we go, finally. The cleanup that REYNOR needed. As you can see, still though, losing a lot of units there. Looks like Maru killed one of his own tanks with friendly fire. Oh, BC just died. Sorry, guys. I'm really bad with that Shift B. I keep misclicking it to remove it. But a battlecruiser just died there. More Cyclone Hellion on the left. There's nothing to defend it. REYNOR does not have great map control right now. So Maru's doing a really good job of just pressuring out here, denying the creep on this left side of the map and denying the hatcheries as well. The Corruptors kind of want to do some PP time, but they're not going to be able to do it just yet. Ravager Lingbane coming forward. Nice lock-on. Does get one Ravager there. Lingbane not quite able to close the distance. Viper is on the way. So we've got 1 Viper and 3-3. Both attack upgrades on the way there for REYNOR. Still Ravager Lingbane up against Mech. 8 Siege Tanks, 6 Cyclones, 4 Hellions. So this squad is just being annoying on the left. Meanwhile, it's a big tank push on the right. Not quite sieged up in time, though. This could be a very good fight for REYNOR. He gets some of the Siege Tanks. Going to fall back there. Doesn't quite have the Ling Reinforce behind it, and he just lost 2 Queens on the left, so he's got to go deal with that. So you know what, Maru, he's kind of like, he's not really super prepared, but he's just doing enough fighting that he's kind of getting sloppy engagements out of REYNOR because REYNOR's so frantic to defend his territory. And look at that, it's opened up avenues for things like this. REYNOR does scramble over, only loses 5 workers, but still 87 workers to 70, and REYNOR's not able to get across the map. So all of this, even if some of these fights, like this one, shouldn't go too well, but even that, he's scaring REYNOR back because REYNOR assumes there's heaps of units that he can't see, so he backs out of a winning fight, and behind it, you've got a 5th base up. And that's what's going to win Maru this game, if anything does. It's not even going to be the fights, it's REYNOR is not mining off this base, is getting pushed back, his creep is getting pushed back. He doesn't know when and where to fight, and Maru's just growing bigger and bigger. So Maru just needs to keep trading at this point because he is out mining REYNOR. The heavy Cyclone army is also very good for picking away. If you've got map control with Cyclones, it's hard for the Zerg to pick their fight. Yeah, look at that. He's going to lock on to the hatchery and then do a bit of a spready. Hatchery falls there. He does get the hatchery snipe. Nice blinding cloud and a flank though. This army's going to get completely wiped. That was an expensive trade for Maru. I don't think he was expecting REYNOR to be so ready to pounce. But I like this. Battlecruisers come in and pick off a few Ravagers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 500 gas. And then you can just teleport out. That's very nice. So the more you pull REYNOR out of position, the more you open up opportunities for trades like that. It's like, oh, that wasn't a good trade, but Hellion run by gets in. But the battle cruisers get in, and guess what? We're floating a 6th base out the right side. So REYNOR is still alive. He's still in this. 15 Corruptors versus 2 BCs. Still 30 supply to deal with 12. Think about those numbers. That's part of why, even with the army supply advantage right now, REYNOR's struggling in these engagements. He needs to have enough Banelings to clear the Cyclone Hellion. Ravagers to buy all the tanks and Lings to kind of absorb the shots and surround things as well. And he's struggling to get all of that going. Maru's getting cornered again though. But is this going to be a good trade for REYNOR? I think it'll be okay. Oh, these banelings on the right. Juicy. Juicy. REYNOR is clearing a lot of army supply. Oh, AFK Ravagers. Oh, they all go down. I love this. He pisses on the missile turrets. REYNOR unzips his fly and says, have you tried our Italian mineral water? Maru's like, go fuck yourself. Like, yeah, you got one planet. I've got a 6th on the right side. It doesn't even matter, you douche. And he actually, no! REYNOR, you should have, there was nothing coming to kill you, mate. Oh, he's worried about cyclones. Because if like 5 cyclones rocked up, bam, you lose 5 corruptors. Maybe they chase you, get another 5 because you're so deep in enemy territory. He can't see everything that we can. It's all tanks, Hellions, and battlecruisers. There was no answer to those corruptors. He actually could have pissed that base down. So REYNOR misses an opportunity, a golden opportunity for his golden shower to find big damage, but it doesn't end up finding the mark. It tickles, it forces a repair, but nothing more. And another one of REYNOR's base is in trouble right now. Okay, here we go. Ravager, Ling, Bane. Where's the Lings? Only 14 Lings. You need a Ling spready will destroy those tanks so fast. But once again, REYNOR's clumped up in one direction, unsure how to fight it. He still hasn't broken the fucking rocks on this map that I was talking about at the very start. You've got to open up these avenues for flanking. REYNOR is like letting Maru bully him out of this game. Maru is honestly playing a little greedy with these pushes. That push, that's not a very supported set of tanks. If you come in with Lings from 2 or 3 sides, you will cleanse those tanks off the map so efficiently. REYNOR's going to run in and kill this base. I mean, this is a good move. I wouldn't mind the BCs teleporting across, but they already used the teleport home. That base goes down. A lot of units dying. Those tanks are getting a lot of Ravagers. Pull back, REYNOR. Pull back. Oh, REYNOR's going way too deep. Oh, my God. Oh, dude. When in doubt, pull out. Don't you hear Maynard's voice? I hear Maynard's voice in situations like this. I hear, when in doubt, pull out, you know, and that's good advice, Maynard. Many different life situations as well as StarCraft, but he takes a lot of damage. You know, he's killed the BCs, but what are the Corruptors going to do? You've got 26 supply, piss on some factories and turrets maybe. He goes in with some Lings. There's still Hellions there. He gets 3 tanks and some Hellions. REYNOR's out of money. And this army, which is so efficiently dealt with by Ravager Ling in the right circumstances, is not quite able to deal with it. And I love the way Maru is doing this mixture of battle mech and traditional mech. There's Packer Cyclone Hellion being douchebags picking away, and there's tanks layered behind it, and you never know how deep the tank line is. This was a masterclass in map control, denying vision, denying opportunities, so REYNOR had no idea where and when to fight. Maru is 1 game from winning this. This could be it. This man is now going into the shittest pool for this matchup in the pool. It's the smallest rush distance with the best tank positions and very little room to adapt and respond. Can he survive? Because he's got to win this game and the next to win this DreamHack Masters Summer Season Finals. This is REYNOR. His opponent's going to be Proxy Raxing. Oh my, he wants that win. He says, 2018, I call to thee, and may the gods of Proxy Rax bless me once more. In the top right, it's none other than Maru. Dude, I got to get my Jin Air Green Wings jacket out to cheer for Maru. No, I don't. Wait, because they canceled their StarCraft 2 division. Shitheads. I guess I don't. So sad. I can see it in my cupboard right now. Beautiful Jin Air hoodie. They gotta pick up Maru and stuff again, these fools. Double Proxy Rex. It's gonna be a pool first. REYNOR's done this. Is this the 3rd or 4th game REYNOR's opened up pool first? He's been playing very safe in this series. He hasn't done it every game. I think there's been 3. So this is game 6. I think there's been 2 or 3. Yeah, I think it makes about 50-50. And he's actually gonna be very safe. Oh, he's building drones nonstop and he hasn't scouted the barracks though. So this is not the best scenario. As long as he saves this lava, he's okay. Okay, he doesn't turn that into... Because remember, he did a really economic where he just went drone, 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 drone in the previous version of the pool first. But this time he's saving for Zerglings anyway. And that's very good. Because he wouldn't have spotted this until he'd spent the lava otherwise. So he's building a Queen, 2 Zerglings, an Overlord, and then he sees the barracks and he's like, oh shit. And remember, STVs don't have as long vision. They do not know it's been spotted. They won't know until they see the Overlord. And they go, oh shit, you saw this, didn't you? Okay, so he knows it's coming. Now he's going to come in and see the hatcheries not done, see the drones, and immediately go, oh shit, you went pool first. So Maru immediately, I mean, he's already got a gas behind this. Remember, this is the 2 racks with a bit of a transition. He's got to get the heck out of dodge and just try to not get overrun. That's going to be a cancel. He's going to see if he can kill a drone or two. You know, he wants to try to get a good fight. Interesting bunker positioning. You can kind of wedge some units behind it, but not that many. He's got to pull back. Maru a little slow to pull back there, I would argue. He's going to try and focus fire these Zerglings and drones down. But that's a great surround by REYNOR. The Marines wriggle out of it. But every SCV's gone. Almost all the Marines are gone. He doesn't quite get that 1 hit point drone. That Marine's like, get back here. 4 Marines, 2 SCVs for 1 drone, 1. Is that all that died? No. Oh my god, the power of the surround. That was an incredible... Oh, REYNOR is way ahead. Oh my, I assumed like 3 drones died. But look at the worker count, 22. You might be like, well, Maru also has 20 SCVs. Yeah, his command center hasn't started. Let's watch how that number changes over the next 2 minutes, friends. The command center has to go down on the high ground, which means he's got to float it down there as well. This Zergling's going to be a nuisance. He can get all those Zerglings to work on these depots, which means Maru can't lift off to build a reactor. So he's got to build a Hellion, push back the Zerglings with it, then lift this off and build a reactor. This is a very tough situation. And I think this is wise of REYNOR. Now, REYNOR actually, you know, is the kind of guy who knows how hard this map is for ZVT in a normal game, but he's also very confident in general, and I think he kind of said, look, I think you'll probably proxy racks here, and indeed does shut this down. Nice little pack of Marines. Ooh, Overlord. Very juicy. That's a good one. Going to supply block REYNOR there, who's only got 4 Lings on the map with 2 more out, and 3 Queens here. REYNOR though, 35 drones versus 23 SCVs. That's that worker count differential that I was talking about. Because REYNOR's been able to just build Queens, Zerglings, drones, Overlords non-stop, while Maru's like, I have 24 SCVs, but I can also drop a mule. His economy is sad. It's sad, guys. It lacks confidence. This is an incel Terran economy. And, okay, Hellion drops a good idea to get back in it. I like it. I love this little pressure. Ooh, sneaky hatch snipe. The Queens are way out of position. They're not there. 250 hit points, of course. It's adding hit points as it takes damage. The Zerglings can't beat these units, but they're threatening. They're threatening. They're threatening. REYNOR's going to lose at 30 hit points, 40 hit points. No! REYNOR with the trigger discipline says, nah, I know I can keep that alive. Only ends up trading like 1 or 2 Zerglings there. Ooh, patient. Meanwhile, the unashamed pervert barracks floating around seeing everything REYNOR's up to, but that does mean you're 1 barracks short at home. Armory's on the way. Oh, he's gonna make some Hellbats. Okay, very cute. Another Overlord snipe. I mean, this is good. Maru's finding little bits of damage, and he's pushing back REYNOR's map vision. REYNOR is gonna go for an ambitious Zergling run by the... Oh, that's really clever, actually. He goes across even before Ling speed, and there's gonna be Queens at home to defend the Hellbats. And a Ling run by, and he goes in immediately? How do you know to do this, REYNOR? He has Hellions out, you crazy lad. But he finds him right as Hellbats are morphing at the front. Goes in, the SCVs get trapped outside of the base. He's going to lose a ton of SCVs. Queens are in trouble. REYNOR's going to actually pull back out of the slow zone, funnily enough. He's like, okay, I'll lure you guys away from my drones at least. Medevac's going to fall. Has lost 1 Queen. He's going to lose a few more of these. Oh, I feel like he should have ran to the left of those Queens. Get the spready on. Another Queen does fall in the retreat. The Zerglings have done so much, though. Maru's trying to micro on 2 sides at once. The Hellbats... Oh, they roast a bunch of Zerglings. Can they get another Queen or 2? Looks like 1 more Queen goes down. That Queen should be fine. Oh, doesn't get the transfuse off. So another Queen snipe. But man, even more SCVs are falling. Even a Mule almost goes down. So, I mean, at the end of that... Sorry. Yeah, that's way better for REYNOR. He already started from a better situation. And most importantly, he killed 10 SCVs out of an already small economy. He lost expendable units, Queens and Zerglings. Why are the Queens expendable? Because he's still got 4 even after the dust settles. So he's got map control as well. There's no follow-up for Maru. So he's got creep control. He's got vision. He's got a few Zerglings for safety. He can just hold down that drone key. Bane Nest, double Evo, Lair. And the barracks is seeing just how bad the situation is. Maru's going to try to play bio from here and going to pull out one of his incredible bio comebacks. And we've seen him do it before. But this is going to be even harder than on the first map, Jagannatha, of this series. what map haven't we seen? I'm already thinking about map 7 because, yeah, Maru's just going to like creep out to a third and build tanks and marines nonstop and probably never move out on the map with anything other than small little pokes. And REYNOR's going to try and kill him. I imagine with mutas, because he's been doing that a lot this game. No 6th gas though, so maybe he'll go Ultra. Or Lurker. I think after the last time he played Maru, he might never make Lurkers versus Maru again. Maru's just so effing good against it. Banshee's up here. Overseer's lagging behind a little bit. Getting some damage done on the Queens, but we'll have to back on out. 6th gas and the Spire do go down, so REYNOR's going to use that. That's the best way for him to just open up new fronts, attack many areas, and overwhelm his opponent, I feel. So, what map haven't we seen? We have seen Lightshade. We've seen Beckett now. Jagannatha, 2000 Atmos, Oxide. Romanticide. I don't think we've seen Romanticide in this series. So I think Romanticide Game 7, the big old macro map, should be really cool to finish things off. Yeah, don't think we've seen that map yet. Should be very, very cool. Lingbane building up. I mean, REYNOR, he's an expert player, and the thing about the best players is they're very flexible. So he doesn't just follow a build. When he's ahead, he gets way more ahead. He says, oh, I don't even need to respect anything you're doing right now. I can just drone my 4th. Like, he's actually, I would say, playing overly safe by stopping at 75 workers. He could have a 5th base, 2 macro hatches, and another 15 drones, be straight to 90 workers, and I'd be like, yeah, fair enough, that's fine. You can do that, and then build units and kill your opponent. As it is, he's building 6 more workers and a macro hatch, so 11 more workers, I like it, yeah. He's gonna go up into the mid-80s. Mutas will shut these Banshees down in a minute. We get 4 drone kills. Maru's going to build a wall there. He's got a wall on the natural he needs to finish. I guess a wall over here. And then maybe an extra wall here. Start from that side and slowly work it across. Every building that you're going to be building anyway, I think should be part of a wall here as Maru. Now, one Banshee does get chased down by the mutas. And this is Defense Simulator. Maru is one of the few players who regularly comes back from this sort of situations versus some of the best in the world. REYNOR, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a 40 supply lead, but 66 workers, 3 bases saturated. Ahead on upgrades, mutas for control. Still no 5th base for REYNOR. So he's making an abundance of Lingbane. So it really feels like he's going to commit very hard off this. 4th command center is on the way, as well as a 2nd factory for Maru. And there's an argument here for Maru just making another tech lab and only making siege tanks. I mean, Widowmines are objectively better versus Lingbane Muta, especially for pushing. But when you are in turtle mode, it's not a bad idea to just build tanks and leave them plus turrets plus bunkers behind walls. Mutas, pull it on back. Infestation pit's on the way. Lair as well. REYNOR's being very patient. I feel like an earlier version of REYNOR would have already tried to kill him. But he's just waiting. 8 more drones, infestation pit, 10 banelings. I do want to see him dump his gas into banelings and roll in because you're not going to wait for 2-2. You're already maxed. So REYNOR is taking a bit too long to roll in, and that's not opinion. That is fact. If you're maxed and you want to trade with your opponent, which you definitely do when you're playing Mutilating Bane, you want to trade at or before max. You don't want to... Every second that goes by, Maru's adding more army, more infrastructure, more defense. He's slowly catching up. Maru's skipping marine production a lot right now, though, and that's a problem. Maru needs to have enough bio. So Maru's like, hey, he's not trying to kill me. Cool, I should just go to the late game. He's focusing on upgrades, production, marauders. Dude, he needs to be building marines right now, and he's not. He's only building all the fancy stuff. So I think Maru's underestimating the danger he is in because that is an insane Lingbane count. Mutas take out a turret, they take out a Hellion. Still no Marines in production. Maru's messing up a little bit here. REYNOR has given him time to max out, but Maru, the rare time where he makes a mistake in this sort of situation, he's not building Marines. He's trying to just build Thor's tanks and, I don't know, grow the Marauder count, I think is what he's focused on. He's waiting for the tech labs. Here we go! Lingbane crashes through. They get a few tanks on the low ground. The Muta's distracting on the right side. And, oh, he does save a few SCVs, but only 7 of them in that medevac. 17 workers go down. And if he had 40 Marines there, 20 Marines, as well as the other units dealing with the Mutas, that might have changed that fight a lot. anything to guard those tanks. I mean, I love these tanks in the back, but he just lost a bunch of his siege tanks. He is indeed going double factory tank, but where was that Marine production, and where is it now as well? He got caught in that Terran mindset of, well, nothing's happening right now. I should just power up and get all the late game things. Nuh-uh-uh. You should be in survival mode. Against Lingbane Muta, you have to max out on bio. And I think Maru, after losing those tanks, I mean, look at the supply. 92 workers are still out. Reynor's just going to smash in, dude. Reynor's just going for it. The wall is not complete. I really think Maru needs to raise that wall. He does not get it up in time. Oh, and it's always sad for a young boy to not get it up. Usually that's something reserved for old men, but he was pretty much dead from the early game of that series. A great shutdown of the proxy racks, and we're going to the rubber match. Let's go. Oh, right. It's the final map, and it's a big old macro map right here in the bottom right-hand side in the red. The Zerg player. He is a REYNOR. In the top right, that's top left, the blue player made the comeback happen from down 0-2, up 3-2. What's that last map? This is Maru. Now, he did go back to bio on Beckett, but it was not an ideal start. He was really looking for a much better situation from the opening. Here on Romanticide, do we see the return of Mech? And if so, how does REYNOR deal with it? Maru's shown a very big obsession with Battlecruiser Mech, which is very good. I do like it. But there's a big question mark for me there. I like REYNOR's confidence. He's like, there's no way you're going to proxy racks me, so I'll go hatch first. Actually, there is a way. You're Maru. So we send this drone out. So notice he's going to scout down here, check everywhere for those close proxy racks locations. Already checked the left a little bit. Technically, they could be there. So it's not 100% safety, but I think good enough. And the gas in the pool will go down there in the main base as well. Bam, bam. No scout for Maru just yet. Let's see though. Does he... he's going to scout. We know because he's rallied this SCV to build the command center, which means that SCV will go across the map, see if there's a hatchery or not, make sure he doesn't get surprised by a pool first. Good shit. Very standard stuff. This Overlord's staying at home. She's probably going to just shuffle that out there. And then another Overlord out front is third at some point. Just keep an eye on where the Reaper is, the Hellion. Reaper into Marine. Now, do we rush the factory? Does he pull another SCV or does he just wait for the depot to finish? Yeah, he wants to rush the factory. Every second matters. Literally gets it 2-3 seconds faster than if he used that SCV, but every second matters. And back to basics, second gas immediately. So none of that fast third command center stuff that we saw on, can't remember which map, maybe Lightshade? I think it was Lightshade. Ooh, very nice. Gets a drone. Oh my god, and a Spore Trick. Oh, he does almost lose his Reaper though. But worth it. Spore Trick plus a drone, so great start for Maru. Unnecessary going back in there. That gives a free, easy creep tumor there for REYNOR, but it is what it is. Great start for Maru so far. Opening looks clean for both sides. No mistakes here. You can see Queen starts up, Overlord immediately afterwards. And this is very natural for Zerg to hit a very slight supply block on 36. So you see he hits that, but he's got no money and his Overlord's already more than halfway done. So it's a very slight supply block, and as soon as the Overlord finishes, you should see REYNOR build like four or five drones. Yep. 5 drones power up immediately. Well executed opening. Just prioritizing the third queen, the third hatchery to keep the injects going, keep the economy flowing. It's a good way of playing. Overlord's going to slide around the left and in the back door. And it is Fusion Core again. We're going to get to see Mech again. I actually watched this series before, guys. I totally forgot that he went Mech in this game. That's crazy. I cannot remember what happens in this game at all. This is actually so sick. I'm like, oh, okay. So, 2 Marines. He's building a third. He cancels. So he faked the Marine, cancels the Viking, and just goes straight tech lab for that Battlecruiser. So he's totally faked REYNOR out in this scenario. REYNOR will probably build a couple spores just for the Liberator defense, but he might even skimp on that. So REYNOR wants to get in, but Maru's doing a great job of just denying info right now. Nice quick third command center. Remember, no Hellion production. Why? Because he needs 400 minerals and 300 gas to start that battlecruiser. There's a bit of a poke on the other side of the map. Doesn't get anything with it, but now the battlecruiser starts right on 420. Dude, this is such a tight opening from Maru. Dude, the number of games I start that BC with the same sort of build at 445. Oh, I'm embarrassed. I mean, that being said, he cancelled the Viking. It's not, no Viking, no Liberator. Only a couple of Hellions out. But very good information denial. 1 spore plus 2 queens are up in the main. No spores on the other bases. REYNOR, though, always builds lots of queens. 6 are out, 2 more on the way. Baneling Nest is going up in the natural. We've got command centers there. 2 more gases going down on the natural. Double factory. And you get the double armory, 4th and 5th factory, 4th command center, then 3 more factories. We know his build order now. He loves it. Now, I wonder when he squeezes Yamato in. Is it? I think it's 2nd battlecruiser, then Yamato, probably. And both of those, I would imagine, before you build the armories. Because he's got this battlecruiser finishing. He needs another 300 gas and then another 150 gas for Yamato. Cool build orders here. I'm just learning. I'm not even trying to commentate. I'm just like, ooh, I like build order. Tight. Oh, watch out. Great Evo chamber. Oh, he does the blink on the front again, but the queens, they're reacting a bit quicker. And there's banelings this time. Oh my god. Wait. Those banelings did not do as much as I thought they would. But transfuse. Oh my god, he's transfusing at the last second there. Okay, I think 7 workers still go down. But he hasn't killed nearly as many queens as he did last time. 2 more queens come down. Oh, a good transfuse. Oh my god, he misses a trans... No, he hit 50 energy just as she died. Oh! I was like, this is absolutely okay for Maru, but you can't be losing that. You can't be losing that, dude. Thank you very much, Fat Shorts, for the 59-month resub. You cannot be losing that. Oh, the first BC's bad. That being said, it was some decent damage. I mean, if we looked at the battle report, REYNOR killed a little bit more than Maru did. It's recoverable, but definitely a better start for REYNOR. More importantly, he's building a Roach Horn. No more of this silly mutiling Bane shit. I can understand why he tried something special on Blackburn. You don't have many attack angles, but back to basics here. Corruptor Ravager, but with a better start than what he had on 2000 Atmospheres. The Lings are going to come on in. They don't really get much at all. The BC, the Marines are going to clean that up. Spire, of course, is on the way. 1-1 upgrades. He's going to take this 4th base on the north side. Doesn't want to lose that. There's no Cyclones or anything, so that's okay. Oh, Hellion's going to drive right on in there, but actually, good drone pull. Good drone pull so far. Oh, only 5 workers. That, I don't like that because it wasn't paired up with anything else. If there was a battlecruiser, pulled the queens down, then he did that, way more effective. But this is kind of that thing that happens. Your first BC is not out, back out on the map when it should be. Your second BC is lagging behind. You get impatient. And Maru gives REYNOR control. By throwing those Hellions away, the creep is going to spread too far, and REYNOR's going to be able to drone his 4th base, whether that be this one or the one in the north. Battlecruiser doesn't really do much there. It takes a little bit of a bruising, but there's 2 spores up in the main. It's just going to have to dance around, pick off the Overlord or 2. Or he's going to look for the Extractor. Maybe, actually, you can sidle in and get some drones, can't you? Yeah, deny a little bit of mining time. Yamato, a queen. Does get the low energy one. It's not the best target, but it's something. Might even kill the Extractor there on the way out. REYNOR's up on 80 workers, though. Fourth and 5th factory should be on the way, but he only had gas for the 4th, so he wasn't able to start the 5th until a little bit later. 1-1 upgrades are a little behind for Maru. Not the end of the world, though. Hellion's going to try and continue around here. He's got to keep some pressure up on this map, but Overlords and Creep Tumors seeing everything. Ah, it's a bad scan. He really should have cleared the creep. If he was going to scan there, clear the creep, I think. Overlord goes down. Hellion's just chilling. 4th command center's up. And interestingly, missile turrets going up in the main base. And the 3rd. Nothing in the natural, though. Oh, he's worried about getting busted by Ravager Corruptor? That's not what this is at all, though. And he's building tanks. So because he's in a poorer position, Maru is giving up map control. He's not going for the early Cyclones. Remember, he went 5 Cyclones before tanks, but in this game, because he knows it started out badly for him, he's worried about getting overrun by a timing attack. REYNOR, though, is going straight to 90 drones. So Maru here, knowing that he's in a compromised position, plays a bit safer, but that actually gives even more power and control to REYNOR, who's defending with what? A handful of Roaches, Lings, Corruptors, and Queens. This is a very good... Oh, 100 workers. REYNOR, can you stop? I swear, if you give him an inch, he'll take a mile. REYNOR is that dirty, bloody friggin' guy in the bazaar that you're negotiating with, and he's like, yeah, I give you a good deal, man. I give you the good deal. And you fucking leave paying 6 times what the product is worth, and you don't even realize till later that day when you're replaying the conversation in your head. He's the dodgy salesperson of Zerg. It's like you give him an inch in the early game, REYNOR's like 110 workers. Hi! And you're like, what the fuck? You just have unlimited units now. Quicker hive on the way, 2-2, Bane speed, the creep is spreading pretty well. Not as dominating as it could be. I've definitely seen players with better creep spread than REYNOR, but he's doing so many other things so well that I do not mind it. 3 spines, 3 queens on the left to defend. What's the composition looking like? Magfield's being added in now, and a few cyclones. So he's going to get a little bit of Cyclone Alien out for mobility's sake. He's still got those 3 battlecruisers, which they need to go get some tax on. They need to go Yamato some Corruptors, start trading with REYNOR to get a bit of efficiency going on. But REYNOR looks like he's actually the one who's ready to strike. There's 3 tanks and a bunch of turrets here, so that's the good beginnings of a defense. Sensor tower really well placed as well. So he's going to see this army coming. BCs, Hellions, everything coming home from Maru. Is this really where you want to attack REYNOR? Is this an ambitious angle to go in from? Blue Flame's not ready yet, so there's Lings tank a bit more than I thought they would. Biles come in. Ravage of Bane still stuck behind each other. As long as he defends the SCVs, I think this is okay for Maru. Loses a couple of tanks, a couple of Hellions, 7 SCVs. It's a totally fine trade for Maru, who obviously comes out the better of that. He's going to try and chase, dodging the Biles very well. Battlecruisers, unfortunately, I think could have killed a base and got out of here during this. So I think Maru F2ing home was a bit of a mistake. I really would have loved to see Maru kill that base, Yamato some Corruptors and get home during that. But that's kind of the momentum REYNOR has, is Maru's really super respectful of all these attacks he's doing. Now, the depot's got cleared, so any future attack here is going to be harder to stop. Sensor tower did survive, though. So he's kind of sensing it, I think. The battlecruisers are up there. Yamatoing Ravages is fine as well, by the way. It doesn't have to be Corruptors that you Yamato. They're a more valuable mineral target by 50 minerals, but it doesn't really matter which one you go for it. I would have liked to see a few more Yamatos there. I think he was worried about getting Corrosive Bile. Because if you Yamato into Corrosive Bile, they're gonna get hit. Oh, SCV's very slow to evacuate. I mean, a nice run by from Maru, but does he take too much damage behind it? He's losing a lot of tanks. Quite a few SCVs going down as well. Where are his tanks at? All his Hellion Cyclones on the other side of the map. They kill a hatchery and some workers, but he's actually getting pushed further back than I think he thought he was going to. He's into 4 tank production at a time now. Does lose 5 more SCVs. Oh, Command Center gets pissed on in the top right. Biles trying to cover the retreat. The Cyclone Hellion is going to pick off some of these units. Command Center goes down. That base gets killed as well. So the Hellion Cyclone in the bottom does open some avenues. Maru's got a new base in there. He's got that one. If he can keep rebuilding the turrets, which he's got to do every time. Rebuild the turrets, get the planetaries back up, leave some tanks and Hellions around. He's got to rebuild that sensor tower as well. Or put a spotting unit up the top. Either one of those will be great. He's got 3 BCs going into a 4th, and there's only 9 Corruptors. So REYNOR's actually very light on Corruptors, and he's also got worse upgrades. Only +1 on them versus +2 armor. That being said, he's going to have +2 attacks soon, so it's not going to be that way for long. Ling's running the top. Ling Baneling does get most of those cleaned up. Ling's here in the middle as well. A lot of Cyclones being built for Maru. 9 siege tanks. I mean, getting that balance right is very tricky on both sides. The Corruptor balance is a little low. The BCs can do a lot against those right now. Same time, oh my god, these tanks caught out. They're done. Those 3 tanks, are they though? I mean, they can pull back to these tanks at least. That tank needs to siege. Uh-oh. Tanks caught in the open, never good for the Terran player. Dude, those Banelings actually getting surprisingly deep. Where's the tank shots landing? The tank shots were not landing in the center of those Banelings. Maru did not focus fire there and actually gets a lot of his units pushed back. Oh my god. his tank shots were going on the Zerglings. They were friendly firing units rather than hitting the Banelings. He needed to focus fire that to be sure. His command center is burning. There's some Ling Roach in the natural. This has actually done way more damage than anyone thought it would. The command center is burning at the top. Battle cruisers were not there to help out when they needed to be. These battle cruisers have just not been in the right position at the right time. They have not done their job this game. He's going to try and Yamato the hatchery. He's not going to be able to kill that, is he? Oh, he teleports out. Okay, he does. And, oh, he's going to lose one of them. His teleport was on cooldown. Gets a hatchery, which is something. This is what I'm talking about. That was a scenario where the battle cruisers would have made that so much more expensive for REYNOR, but they weren't there, and they weren't doing damage on the other side of the map. Ever since he lost the first battle cruiser, Maru has not been as confident, has not been finding the damage. REYNOR now, has he got enough corruptors? Yeah, he's realized, okay, let's get 15, 16 corruptors out, add a Viper or two in there. He's lost a bit of his map vision. He's lost a lot of bases, has REYNOR. But I think cost for cost, the trades have been way, way better for REYNOR than he would ever expect in a Ravagerling Bane game versus mech. That's a very close units loss tab. Now for Maru, I actually think doubling down on the tank production might be the trick here. He's got a lot of tanks here. That's a great tank spread, and his BC's here. This might be the good fight that he needs to get back in this game. Maru stands his ground in front of his tank line. Biles come down in the front, but a good hold there. REYNOR, though, wisely pulls back before overcommitting. Oh, don't attack your own tank. Quickly hits the stop there. Send some SCVs to repair as well. Well done, well done. Battle cruisers are going for another wave. Yeah, he's got to keep that battle cruiser tax going. That's where victory comes from. Should be scanning ahead, but remember, Maru's been taking a beating. He never got extra orbitals, no scans, so he's got to react instantly. Maru! Instantly teleports out because he doesn't want to lose the BCs, doesn't get to do the Yamato. Hellions, though, are doing well in the top right. 10 workers and some Zerglings going down. So it's a good little trade for him. Oh, the Corruptors of REYNOR. They thought about running forward, almost got caught by the Cyclones. Good game sense for REYNOR to pull back. Maru can absolutely take this base out, but he's very light on Hellions. So mass Zergling actually beats this army right now. As silly as that sounds, that's the balance. You need enough Hellions to deal with the Zerglings, tanks to deal with the Banelings, the Roaches, and Cyclones just to get some mobility and make it harder for the Zerg to control space, as well as, of course, to fuck up Corruptors if you catch them out in the open. A lot of Cyclone Hellion on the map. I think Maru's going too heavy. 12 Cyclones is more than enough. He needs to go back into tank production or he's not going to have enough, and the tanks are caught unsieged! Maru! No! 2 of them get abducted. This is a disaster. Another tank goes down. 4 more in the open. They're trying to get back to safety. Can the other units get here? More tanks getting abducted. And it does manage to save 2 of them, but dude... Maru's tank count's already low. Dude, he's queued up a few tanks now, but 2. You need more than 2. Maru's swapping a pure Cyclone Hellion. Okay. Cyclone Hellion can do it, but he needs to be constantly fighting with REYNOR and just picking at him. He needs to just keep him in striking distance, just constantly chipping with those mag field lock-ons, pulling back. Chipping, locking on, pulling back. Chipping, locking on, pulling back. BCs find the drones. Cyclones get the hatch down there. Teleport out, Maru! Oh. Okay. Gets 2. That's the tax. Those BCs finally doing their bloody job, aren't they? Yes! A Cyclone and a Hellion for all those units. Well, he did kill one of his own Cyclones, apparently, but it is what it is. He's building more command centers. If he can get more orbitals up, that's what gives Maru a bit of survivability in this game. REYNOR has a bank, Maru has a bank, but either side doesn't really have the ability to easily rebuild. They don't have those giant economies. The command center floating out to the top right does get caught. Where are the tanks? This is what I was talking about. His tank count so light. Cyclone Hellion is very bad when it's pushed up against a wall. And indeed, REYNOR says, you don't have teleport, you don't have a lot of tanks. Cyclones are not good at standing their ground. They're only good at running backwards. Oh, I don't know. Gets a command center overall. How does that... Once the command center dies, these Cyclones are going to run forward and snipe another hatch. Resources destroyed, very similar. Maru killed a bit more, but REYNOR does still have more bank. Hatchery goes down there. What are we in? Still, he's building 4 tanks at a time. That's important. So it's those moments where REYNOR pushed like that. If he had like 3 or 4 more tanks spread, I'm telling you that trade is way better for Maru. Maru now is getting spread out very thin, so you can understand why he'd want heavier Cyclone Hellion, but oh, no, that's too many. He could have done this with 4 Cyclones and maybe got the kill. To trade 7 Cyclones for that? Recall. Oh, wait, you're not Protoss. Oh, no, he gets a lot of Cyclones trapped down here. Ooh, the Hellbat Morph barely saves him, though. He's gonna get that hatchery kill. Get out of there. Cyclones, run! Leave the Hellbat. Leave the Hellbat. His job is just to protect you. Drops the scan just to get a Baneling there. So REYNOR does kill 11 Cyclones there. That's a lot of money. So that was a bad trade for Maru. He can't be wasting his Cyclones like that because now that he loses all them, REYNOR's like, okay, cool. You're not controlling the map right now. Let's go. These tanks are well spread. The BCs are here. Corruptors are a bit lagging behind, so the BCs are going to add some oomph to this. Oh my god, there's not enough tanks. And they were a bit too in the open. The Lingbane Ravager spready comes in. There's another tank back there. Is that enough, though? The BCs have teleported away for now. There is an argument behind those battlecruisers teleporting into the economy of REYNOR and trying to savage it, but... oh god, that's a lot of Banelings! That's a lot of Banelings! REYNOR with the next wave comes in! He gets the Planetary and 18 SCVs. He's gonna lose every single unit for it. That is not for free. But he does big economic damage. That being said, base in the bottom left is up. It's alive. It does not have anti-air at it, though. So if the Corruptors do get down there and find it on its own, it's going to be screwed. Maru needs to hold this base. REYNOR needs to get that base and this base back up and mining. If they can both do that, it's going to stabilize a little bit with REYNOR potentially in a small economic lead. Battlecruisers in the open. REYNOR's diving for it. He says, you don't have your tactical jump ready. And oh my god, he does Yamato 2 with the Corruptors. And with the Cyclones coming in, REYNOR has to back off. Okay, not too bad then. But look at that. Oh, a Ling Ravager kill, +3 melee Adrenal Zerglings. Snipe that command center like it doesn't even exist. Abducts on Cyclones. Oh, the Viper's coming in with the value trades. Abducting so many of these tanks out of position here. Another tank gets yoinked. Oh, talk about the trades turning upside down in this moment. Those Vipers, the Ravager Ling Spready, the way he's used his mobility, threatens in the north, then comes down the south. Maru is just not able to hold that line. Oh man, a lot of Ravagers always die on the retreat. That's the power of the Cyclone, but losing the command center, what's Maru's income? It's not there. The income is way better right now for REYNOR. Dude, what a freaking final game. I would argue that REYNOR has been winning a lot of this game. Yes, I've been spitting on my microphone because I'm so excited, so I'm wiping my spit off it, guys. Sorry about that. But Jesus, like it's been a close one. It's been back and forth. Units lost tab. That is really tells you how well REYNOR's playing. For this sort of game, this much map control against mech, to be only 4,000 resources in the units lost tab, that is actually insane. And right now that income is getting out of control, guys. He's going to go for another big attack. He's going to try and take him down here. The tanks get blinding clouded. Oh, the BCs teleport out to avoid the Corruptors. It's just Cyclones and Planetaries trying to hold their own. Banelings say, get blown up, dickheads. Oh, those Hellions taking some nasty hits, but most of them do survive. If he can keep the command center alive, then maybe, just maybe. Where are the Cyclones, though? The Cyclones are running to the top right. The BCs dive in the mineral line. Oh, he's finally said, well, you're fucking me up. I gotta fuck you up. I've gotta go hard. I can't play patient anymore. Maru dives in the mineral line. Cyclone's diving up there. He wants to intercept the Corruptors, but there's already Ling Bane there. Maru goes for a bit of a gamble here. Rather than pulling back and cleaning up the Ravagers with these Cyclones, he goes for the dive. And you know what counters Cyclones on their own Lings? You know what counters BCs with no yomp? It is Corruptors. He does try to take out the Vipers. One of them survives on literally 1 air point. The battlecruisers fall. The anchor to this entire style. The efficient unit finally go down. And REYNOR says, Lings, go free, pillage, burn, and destroy this Terran base. A handful of Cyclones and Hellions, light, fragile, long-distance units used to kite down the opponent with their mobility. Very good if you give them long enough to fight. They're not good at standing their ground. They need to keep trying to run away. The Zerglings and Ravagers go ham, and Maru does get overrun just barely in Game 7 of this Grand Finals. Oh man, that first battlecruiser going down, I think may have been the first thing that went wrong. And from there, Maru did a damn good job of trying to stack those blocks on top of each other and bring it back. But at the end of the day, REYNOR just a little bit too tight. Anticipating the proxy racks in Game 6 as well with a pull first on a map that's already very difficult for Zerg. Oh, high-level strategic choices. A swap from bio to mech. Proxy racks only mixed in once and being counted. This was just an absolutely amazing Grand Finals. And what a way to get back in the studio for DreamHack Masters Summer as well. It was so cool to see Roddy and Zombie Grub and Wardy and Todd and Kalaris over there in the studios. This was a real treat to watch live and to recast for you guys. So thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one.